on YouTube, which we are, but I'll tell you what isn't live, the music. Oh, pain. It's not a stream if there's not technical difficulties. Let me move the chat. Welcome Opens. Welcome Derek. My model is a slack jawed and a gape. Ready for cock. Okay. Oh! Let's get this into proper size. Let's get chat to size. And let's prep the Den'an Gei. Also, Opus, your chat got censored because you used the word balls. Even though you were literally talking about, you know, the most majestic vehicle. What is in all of Gundam, and that is the ball. What is it actually? What is the ball classified as in Gundam, and why is my eyes closed? Why? Don't get things slanted. What is it? It's not a mobile suit. It's not a mobile armor. Is it just a piece of shit? Well, what is it classified as? Speen. Ooh. Welcome, Gundam. Ooh. Hope you guys liked the video today. Ooh. Originally it was 5 minutes, and then I just kept cutting away, and then it turned out to be like 2 minutes. So, you know, pretty typical editing process for me, actually. Ooh. But we actually won't have gloves for today. What? Because we're doing prep, and I found that actually having bare hands is better for painting. Ooh. Welcome, Nox. Howdy. Is it classified as a mobile armor? Let's check that. Mobile worker, but technically speaking, also Zaku's were first mobile workers. Welcome, Storm. Ooh. Thought it was a worker maintenance thing. Did it? Glove free, scandalous. I know. But I can actually work the paint a lot better. But what is the ball? Before we even start this, before we start the Gei, we're not even starting on the Gei yet, and we're already talking about balls. Oh my god, it's so fitting. And for some reason, let's see here, ball Gundam. This is the music that should be playing when you're talking about balls, right here. A heroic tune. Okay, so the ball is, what are you classified as? Mobile coffin. I feel like that's a good you know what? I feel like I don't need to read more. It's a mobile pod. That was kind of underwhelming. Boomer stream? Oh, what? What's making it a boomer stream? You think I'm old, Chai? You think I'm not young and hip and with it? Petite mobile, no, it just says mobile pod is what it says. Ooh, which I don't know how many of those there are. Let's see here. Let's get this. Ooh. Let me turn off the stand so it's not spinning and wasting battery. It blows my mind that some companies have rules against showing hand or skin. Like what? I didn't know that some VTuber companies didn't allow that. I thought that was just the culture. I took that so much for granted. I didn't know that's a specific... I thought this is a thing that certain people do. I thought it was just a preference thing per streamer. I didn't know it's a business policy. Yes, mobile pod is what it technically is. A ball is technically just a life pod in a way. Okay. Here. Could have forgotten the term from Gundam Facts. Okay, so... Got it. This is why sometimes I'm a little sad that P Bandai doesn't have colored boxes, because look at this instruction manual. And look at all these nice, pretty colors. Ooh. Look at these nice colors, chat. Look at this. Ooh, it's fabulous. It's gonna be really hard not to talk like a gay stereotype every second I have this kid out, because I am not an adult, I am a child. I'm 250 years old, but I'm still a child. It's gonna look fabulous, chat. It's gonna be wonderful. Ooh. Let's see here. Now, for colors, I'm thinking, because I'm just, predictable, I'm thinking bronze and steel again, but with burgundy. Ooh. Or, sorry, red for Char Aznable, because every shade of red in Gundam that is not pure red has to be for Char. Ooh, unless it's pure red, then it's Gundam red. Sorry. RX-78-2 Gundam red. I'm sorry, chat. You know, I shouldn't be getting the name wrong. Fake fan. Welcome, Ivan. Ooh. Live rules against showing hands, VTubing. It could just be for immersive purposes, to be honest. Ooh, I know Tomoe Mari does it for part of the culture, but also just because she doesn't see, kind of like me, she doesn't seem comfortable with showing her hands all the time. Ooh. I want to know where she gets the brown gloves, though. I've looked for Tomoe Mari's brown gloves so many times, and I can't get them for myself, which would be far more fitting because my character wears brown gloves and ooh, gross hands. Oh yeah, the life pod with the gun strapped on top of it in order to reduce loss of mobile suits, much like using a children's. It's literally like putting a tractor. It's like seeing the Killdozer, and then going, oh, that'd make a great military weapon. And it's like, no, it wouldn't. The Killdozer would be horrible on a battlefield, and they're like, it messed up a city. Please God, tell me there's a Killdozer of mobile suit Gundam that somebody took like an out-of-date pod or just an out-of-date mobile suit and just did a Killdozer. That would be so funny. They just took a Zaku, is it a Zaku tank or a tank Zaku? I can't even remember now. But they just took one and just went through a colony with it. There's this ball that and the worker pod, and there is 2 in crossbone era. Hello, Ivan. Oh, the stopgap, and it worked. I mean, it did work. I mean, they had a lot of balls, the Federation, in more ways than one. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, this is not a booklet. It opens like a booklet, but it's not. It's a really long instruction manual, which isn't atypical, but I thought we had a book for a second. I guess Revive 100s aren't important enough for books. Maybe I will do a little bit of red. I'd like more of a crimson red. I think that'd be more fitting, but I think these are the colors we're gonna work with. So let's get out the parts that we need. The Den'an Gei, because it was a reborn or revive. Revives are high grades. Reborn is what it's called, right? 100. RE 100, 100, Reborn 100. Yes. I'm not quite sure, but I can check. I can literally check right now. So, P Bandai. Unless I'm not logged in. If I'm not logged in, I cannot check. Can't go. Gmail. Where? It's actually going to be easier to go through Gmail. Go to my order. Bandai. Also, we're going to have a new Gunpla poll up tomorrow for all of you guys. Let's get that there. Because I thought we wouldn't have time until the end of the month to have another Gunpla poll. Welcome, welcome, unknown Zaku tank. Hildolfer would work amazingly too. But thank you for the clarification. I don't know why I couldn't remember if it's tank Zaku or Zaku tank. This is one of those things where you don't know if it's which one comes first. But I want to look up the Hildolfer. Hey, what the hell was that? I was unaware of this. Ooh, I knew that there were like Federation tanks. But that is that's adorable. Look at that. Look at that little thing. You might be like, what's adorable about it? It's just a tank. Well, chat, you see that little eye? It can pop out. Oh god, is that a Xeon or Federation unit? It has a mono eye, so I'm guessing Xeon, but I didn't know Xeon had those kind of tanks. OVA Igloo Hidden 1-Year War. It looks like it's Principality of Xeon. You know, I could have just gone to the description. I think these will be good places to do the burgundy. Oh, let's see here. I can understand that it for covering fingerprints. Ooh, that's also true. I was just thinking, you know, when you said covering fingerprints, I didn't think of like identifying somebody via their fingerprints on like camera. My immediate thought was just like, oh, you don't want to have fingerprints on your model. That looks scummy, you know? That looks unprofessional. So when I said that's true, my brain was thinking of just like quality of the video. Not, oh, you don't want to identify them? My brain. Oh, God. But fingerprints, there are weird, crazy people. Yeah, there are people who figured out where like a Japanese model was vacationing by the reflections in like it was like there was like a glass on the table or something. It's something like that wasn't the main picture, or there was like a mirror in the background, and they were able to figure out exactly where they were. Oh, I thank you. Oh. Thank you. Let me catch up to chat on YouTube real quick. I wonder would they make a black and purple version of the Den'an Gei kit? Royal Guard veterans. It's already a P Bandai, so I'm not quite sure. Oh my god, that face is adorable. Look at that little face. Look at that little thing. Okay. Oh crap, what should we prep the blue with? I can't be prepping with gold again. But we're already doing bronze. So I'm gonna put the blue aside. There's not a lot of blue, but let's see here. Plenty of prep in there. Okay. I'm gonna open this up just to see how it looks inside. That is a dark, rich purple. Ooh. It says red, but that is burgundy. Oh god, I don't know if there's ever. My dog is throwing a fit. Jesus Christ, that was unusual. This is like the purple on the Rosen Zulu. This is not a red. I know burgundy is a shade of red, but you know what I mean. Let's cut off this piece. Let's get the pieces that we need cut off. Thing is, I feel like Gundam red is too bright. I'm a little torn on which one I should do. If I had a nice crimson paint, I would definitely be going with that right now. Good. The gold pure is the Royal Guards. Okay. The black isn't Royal Guards, but Spec Ops. They have the mobile worker for the Gundam Origin. Yeah, well, yes, the Gundam Origin is them being mobile workers originally was the Gundam Origin justification, but I do believe in canon they weren't mobile workers, but they were still. That's based off of, I think, in the actual timeline they were called that. They were never actually used as those though. But maybe I'm just getting my wires crossed. I don't know how I'm going to prep this little face, but we're gonna try. Okay. See here. Are those Vernairs? What am I looking at? Thing is, this kit has a bit of asymmetry and unique parts, so I'm not quite sure what everything is. Like, normally I'd assume these are feet Vernairs, but I know they can't be. Ah, they are Vernairs. They're Vernairs that go right here. Okay, I see. Let me catch up. You should look up the Space Marine chapter. Charmal Guard color scheme and might for the Den'an Gei. Well, we mostly only do like panel lining and whatnot. So if it's like a completely different paint job where I need an airbrush, we can't do that. But Charnel Guard is an awesome name. Wait a second, that's 40K. Ooh. I missed the word marine. So I just read space, I think. Ooh. But, the Charnel Guard, that's the red I want. That is a burgundy, but it's more of it's closer to crimson. Let me show chat. Ooh. That's still a burgundy on his shoulders, but it's ever so slightly more of a crimson. There's a little bit more red in it. Let's get the Vernairs cut out. Here, ground assault type tank from Mobile Suit Igloo. Yeah. Ooh. Thank you for confirming that it's Xeon, though, guys. That is appreciated. It was made, then shelved for 3 years, then back on service, but then left it high and dry, it sounds like. So, like a lot of things in Mobile Suit Gundam, it was kind of inspired by, like, well, it's inspired by, like, not real history, but, like, kind of alternate histories of World War II, where Germany would, like, get done with their experimental stuff and like release it, but it wouldn't do much because they're already losing the war. These are Vernairs, right? But I do like how these Reborn 100s are kind of just upscaled high grades with a little bit more detail. Ooh. It's a good in-between, a good happy medium. Oh, let's see here. Can I actually look at this instruction real quick? Let's see here. Federation cowardice on full display. It's always cowardice. They just throw their manpower at things until, you know, they overwhelm the enemy. Let me look at the feet real quick to see if that's what I... Oh! Wait, that's even more confusing to me. Okay, hold up. Let me look at the feet again. Wait a second. Why is there only one blue foot? Is there another screw that I'm missing? Okay, so these are the bottom of the feet. Here. Right? No. What are you? Wait a minute. No, the feet have articulation, it looks like. So that means these cannot be the bottom of the feet. Wait a minute. Then what is this part? Is this like... There's that other kit, there's that other mobile suit that is deployed with the Den'an Gei that I think is technically its predecessor, if I remember correctly. Or it's its successor, I can't remember which one. But is that what these feet are for? Is this kit... Are elements of this kit, like, low-key... for the next kit to come out or for a previous kit. Because these feet don't appear... Unless... No. That is... Well... Oh, no, the feet do go on. They just go on at this point for some reason. Which makes me even more confused. So, same opposite side. Cover used, during parade. Oh, they're parade feet! So what these are pretty much like, if you... Are like the mobile suit equivalents of if you've ever... Are like slippers, effectively. That's what these are. These are the mobile suit equivalent of slippers, is what these are, for parades. That is actually really cool that they included these, because these are just very unnecessary to the build in that case. Ooh. So you can have, if we wanted to, we could make another, like, gold and bronze kit, you know, for, like, a parade motif. Oh, that's really nice. You can play endless space smoothly. Nice. Those mobile workers, which is not really a mobile worker, is literally a reference to the German after World War I build tanks for testing. But but then they said they're tractors because the Treaty of Versailles. Not a lot. Yeah, there are a lot of ways that Germany and the other Axis powers got around the Treaty of Versailles. One thing I always found weird about the Treaty of Versailles is how, like, Japan was also, like, beholden to it for some reason. Like, okay, so, like, all the European powers go to war, and then it's like, okay, guys, from now on, only, like, Britain is allowed to have a really big navy. Also, Japan, you're also part of this. You're not allowed to have a big navy also. And it's like, what? Like, in a way, I kind of understand, like, Japan being like, what, you know what, screw you guys. Like, we were part of this, and we can't make, like, a big military because Germany, like, went a little silly. Ah, silly. We're gonna go invade Manchuria and be way worse than the Germans. You know, Dr. Mengele, we're gonna do that, but, like, on an industrial scale. Saw a third-party upscale of the 1/100 Hygog. Some people love it. Ooh. That was actually talked about last stream. Sadly, the stream couldn't stay up because it had uploading issues. Well, it couldn't stay public because of uploading issues. But yeah, we talked about that. It really is just a upscaled version, which is kind of funny because they didn't even bother. Like, they could have done a little more engineering, make some a little color separation, and they just went like, no, you still have to paint it. So it's still like completely blue out of the box. Zero color separation. It's kind of funny. But I'm sure it's a lot easier to customize than the 1/44 scale, so it's still nice in that regard. And I'd hope that the joints are nice and thickened up for the higher size. General rule of thumb, if the mobile suit is color, cool and unique, it's Xeon. And if it's a... There's a fact check. Really, if it's a faceless soldier with no pizzazz, no offense, GMs, then it's probably a Federation suit, because it's just kind of a rule of, like, fiction where you don't want your hero suit, i.e. the Gundam, getting upstaged by its, by the grunt suits around it. So the GMs kind of just have to look interchangeable and simplified and less eye-catching by design. Again, it kind of makes them actually more grounded of mobile suits, the GMs and the Federation suits, because they have less pizzazz to them, and that's something that a lot of people appreciate about them, is the fact that they are kind of the more grounded suits of the really Gundam universe. Ooh. But at the same time, if you want the rule of cool, typically you don't go to Federation suits unless they are from, like, a game or something. where the GM is allowed to be the main character mobile suit. Parade feet, gotta be... Ooh. You can't damage the road of the colony, I guess that's a good point. You don't want to damage the roads. But if you cover up the feet, whatever will Tarantino do? Sorry, the dog is just barking. And I think I have to put him in the kennel. I will have to be right back. I wish I had the Crash Bandicoot clip because I'd put that up right now as I'm gone, but the BRB screen isn't coming up, actually. Does this BRB screen come up? Okay, that one comes up. Okay. Don't worry about that. The dog quieted down, so I guess I don't need to get up anyways. Den'an Gei is kind of like a sergeant type of the... So it's like the red elites in Halo. Ooh. Why did I have to go there, of all places? It's like the red aliens in Halo. They have command over the blue ones. Where is... Oh, there's my good clippers. You know what? But I need to remember in 4 minutes to change out the pole. It's kind of a sergeant. I want to get the heavy gun, pretty cool, which with only 9.5 ton, the... Oh my goodness, I have like a frog in my throat. OGGM is a 40 ton. My brain just went to heavy arm, and now I can't think of anything besides the heavy arm, which is annoying, because I know what the heavy gun is. No. But then my brain's going to the Zaku big gun. Oh, the heavy gun from... Yeah, okay. From F91. I'd love them to do, like, reprints of more F91 stuff. I know F91 isn't the most popular, and for good reason, because it was rushed and didn't get to have, like, the full release that it needed. So it suffered a lot for it. But I would like things like the heavy gun getting a reprint. Ooh. Let me show people who don't know which one the heavy gun is. Is heavy gun from F91 or is it from... It's from F91. Where's the James gun from? Because that's a mobile suit, right? Just to make things extra confusing. That's a mobile suit, correct? The James gun. Ooh. I don't like my hands being seen right now, so as long as we're not painting, I'm just gonna put my gloves back on. Let's see here, the... Den'an Gei's... Oh, Sergeant, Well, this is because during the Russo-Japo War, the aka World War O, Japan was the first Far East nation to defeat a Western power, and they shook the world. Yeah, that's true. The negotiations to end that war were partially handled by Theodore Roosevelt. Ooh. And that comes with one of my favorite pieces of information about Theodore Roosevelt is the fact that the Japanese, as thanks for helping negotiate the end to the war, sent Theodore Roosevelt samurai armor, to which he then put on and walked through the halls of the White House in the Japanese ceremonial samurai armor that he was sent, probably laughing his mustached ass off at doing, just, you know, because why not? He did actually put on the armor. I don't know if he laughed, but he almost certainly was laughing while he's just going up and down the White House, just going, ah, look what these Japanese people got me. Ah, you know, then he walked over to, like, you know, a secretary or something, or like he walked over to like the nearest guy and was like, hey, come down to like the basement with me so we can do a bare knuckle boxing match. after I'm done walking around the White House in this samurai armor, because that's also something he did. He would just go to White House staffers who were men and be like, you look like a strapping young lad. Let's box. He only stopped when he got his eye punched out by one of them. And when I say eye punched out, I'm not being like, you know, I'm not saying like, oh, he lost sight in one eye. No, he got punched so hard, his eye popped out of his skull. And you know what he did? He took his eye, which was dangling by its nerve, and put it back into his skull. He just popped it back in there. He's just like, oh, hey, I'm looking at the ground and also looking at that guy over there. Hold up 1 second. Let me grab that and... Ah, there we go. Okay, I'm good for round 2. Mr. President, you can no longer bare knuckle box. Ah, boulder dash. Thuckering thuckatash. No, damn it. Why did I say that? I was trying to do Snagglebus Heavens Murgatroyd, but I did. I said Sylvester's thing instead. Ooh. Welcome, Matt. Welcome, welcome. Ooh. James Gunn. Oh, James Gunn is also is Victory Gundam. It sounds like they're in both, though. It sounds like it's in Victory and F91. Ooh. After F91, before Victory. Okay, fucking Jesus Christ. Okay, so I don't know where. Okay, so I asked where does the James Gunn appear, and you guys are just like, first in Marvel, then in DC, effectively, and I'm like, shit. I don't know what's going on anymore. Please, Bandai, I need this. I have a lot of money. I want F91. I would love the just. I would like a lot of Victory and. Ooh. A lot of Victory and F91 mobile suits because they're just so underrepresented, but also even the goofier ones, like the one that has like the just blades on its arm, and so what it does is it just holds its arm up and it just like spins the blades around so it's like a propeller and flies just with one arm over its head, like it's just doing a little dance, like it's just in the middle of doing a little dance move or something. It looks so silly, but I love it. James Gunn are an F91. Read the F91 MSV. See here. I still need to read the Pulitzer Gundam. That's the first thing that's on my list for reading Gundam, but I'm reading Gilgamesh right now. And I want to focus on Gilgamesh, which is not Gundam, just there's not like a Gundam Gilgamesh. I'm talking about the Epic of Gilgamesh. My eyes. Same as the Javelin. Well, it's a prototype. I really want to see more Zanskara Empire. After the release of Shaku and Zol. I don't know what those are. I'm just hoping that they actually do. Ooh, thank you, Kays. I'm really hoping that they do the Great, because I laughed because I did a Beavis and Butthead laugh. I now forget what I was about to say. Oh, the Hathaway. If Hathaway Flash, whatever it's called, I saw some people calling it Witch from Mercury, which I'm just like, wait, no. It's Witch, but it's not like Witch from Mercury, because Witch from Mercury is a completely different Gundam, unless Witch from Mercury was named after like Gundam Hathaway 2 or something, or like, you know, a chapter in Gundam Hathaway's Flash, the like novelization, or the novel, because the novelization would mean the adaptation of the movie, you know what I mean. But what is the new Hathaway called? I keep new Hathaway movie. Okay, Mother Mary. Okay, no, not Anne Hathaway. Son of a gun. And Crossbone. Ooh. It gets mileage, it sounds like, in that era. James Gunn, Gun Easy, appear in Victory and Gundam series. Okay. Ooh. I know that I think it's the James Gunn. There's a like named pilot. There's like a side character who has a horrific death in one. Like a bunch of like drones just like swarm his like gun and just he's effectively just torn apart, which is just, you know, classic Gundam. Ooh. Classic Gundam. We need to have one really, really horrible death. Shaku. Bro, we need Jupiter Empire mobile suits. I feel like the closest thing we have to that right now is mobile suit Anne Hathaway Revenge. Jesus Christ. I'd watch it. I don't want to see how bad it... Oh god. If they made a live action, if Netflix made a live action Gundam, oh shit, they are. Wait a minute. Let me rephrase that. If they were making a live action adaptation of Hathaway, they'd probably just fucking cast Anne Hathaway. And they're like, no, Hathaway's supposed to be like in his like 30s or something. I can't remember, or like late 20s. And they're like, this 60-year-old women will do the job. Don't worry about it. We got a lot of ESG points out of it. Don't worry about it. That's still a thing, right? It's only scraping and stabbing and hurts the eyeball. Well, for me anyway, touching it doesn't hurt at all unless you get pepper spray. Touching the pupil can hurt. However, speaking of the pupil hurting, touching the eyeball can hurt a hell of a lot. Because one time I got shot in the eye by a Nerf gun, and you might be like, a Nerf gun's not so bad, but it wasn't just any Nerf dart. It was a Nerf dart. It was a Velcro Nerf dart. That is one of the worst pains I've ever had in my life. And I have had a metal bar in my chest. Okay? I would rather... A metal bar is not as does not hurt as much. It's more of a low pain having a metal bar in your chest. No, I'm not going to elaborate. But getting shot point blank, it wasn't point blank, but it was like from like 2 to 3 feet away, directly in the eye with a Velcro dart. I was literally out for the rest of the night. I was just in inconsolable pain. It was awful. Was it a beam helicopter? I thought they were just blades. Were they beams as well? I still want it. If they bought, Jesus Christ, if they came out with an action figure and it had like a little function where like you could press a button on its arm and it'd make the blades go spinny spinny, I'd get it. I'd get it. It could be like literally like a, what is it? Like a McDonald's Happy Toy quality. I'd get it. I loved those things. Those McDonald's Happy Toys that just like were really shit quality, but they had a button and they made like a propeller go around. So you as like a 5-year-old was like, this is the most amazing thing to ever exist. This is the greatest toy ever. My other toys don't have mechanical moving parts. Bootleg RX-78-2.0. So I read 2. I combined the 2 and the 2.0. Sorcery Nymph Hathaway, Anne Hathaway, isn't that an actor? Yes. Yes, I tried to look up Hathaway's Flash, but I got Anne, it just gave me Hathaway, you know, the actress. James Gunn, the heavy gun. Isn't the James Gunn a variant of the heavy gun, or like a successor to it, or predecessor? Ooh. I thought they weren't exactly the same suit. To cast the other Anne? Yes. Anne Frank. Just bring her back from the grave. You know what? It's your time now, honey. Get out of that grave. It's time to achieve your dream. You've never seen Anne Frank like you've read her diary, but you've never seen Anne Frank like this. Oh, let's get this out. Getting hit. Getting hit and the nutsack is worse. Worse than a broken leg. It matters what you're getting hit in the nutsack with. A Nerf dart, not too bad. Playing soccer and the person misses the ball, but gets 2 in exchange. That fucking hurts. You know, the ball's between your legs, and so another kid who's like 7 years old runs up to kick it. And that kid, he doesn't kick that ball, but he sure as hell gets yours. That's the fucking worst. Oh god, I loved soccer as a kid though. Ooh. That's what Americans call football for my international viewers. Oh god. Let's see here. Wait. That a lot? Yeah, Velcro is a lot of scrape. It's not scraping a Velcro. It's more like a lot of hooking, because Velcro is a bunch of tiny hooks. So it's just a bunch of microscopic hooks pushing into your eye and then pulling off at this, and then pulling off. Oh my god! It didn't do any like bad damage. It didn't cause any like scarring of the eye or anything. But my god, did it hurt. Oh, one of the things is the nearly all of the Tomino's works flopped commercially, including Victory. Did even Zeta Gundam not do the best? I know the original Gundam was cut like a few episodes short because it wasn't doing too well. But I am familiar with that. That Tomino's works commercially don't do the best for some reason, even though it's very much like, imagine when Star Wars came out, if it was like a fucking flop. Like like the original trilogy, sorry for cursing, but if the original trilogy just had A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, I almost said Revenge of the Sith, and they were just flops effectively. But my god, they sell great merchandise. It's very much like that. Star Wars does sell great merchandise, but also the movies were very successful. Ooh. Merchandising, merchandising, merchandising. This would be really good in the burgundy. Let me catch up to chat. One of the things that is oh wait, Tomino, Bandai hates all of them because they wanted smaller molds to save plastic and new molds cost more. Oh yeah. That is why, also there was like an oil crisis in like the late 80s and, well, actually throughout the 70s to the 90s, there were multiple oil crises, and plastic is made from waste material from oil production. So, or secondary material from oil production. So plastic costs were also up in that era. And I think into the 90s, the economic boom, was it in the 90s or? No, it was in the 90s where you had the economic boom. But Bandai's always been like up and down as a company, so I think there's just one of their lower periods. But they wanted to cut costs more efficiently, so they wanted smaller figures. That's why F91 has smaller mobile suits. Successor, thank you. Meanwhile, me playing kick soccer. Tomino start. Oh, actually, let me read your first chat before, so I don't skip that by accident. I love the fact that Victory Gundam is made for people who watched SD Gundam or Alt Gundam to watch UC Gundam. That is kind of funny. Okay, now that we are doing the painting though, I need to No! No 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 no. Shit, this is my good. Oh, this is my display. I didn't realize this because I was doing pickup shots. Even like, oh no, this is my. Oh, this is my display. Oh no. Son of a gun. You see, this very dirty one is the one that I'm supposed to be doing the building on, while the one that I just got paint on is supposed to be for display purposes, for like reviews and pictures. So it looks nice. Because I'm very irresponsible, and I literally, the moment I started painting over top of it, I got paint on it. So right now I'm just rubbing it off. And it's right over my crotch, so you can say I'm rubbing one off right now. So give me a second. Let me make sure I'm not missing chats. Oh yeah, the Rotary Hell, Rotary Hell are beam powered as both use the beam shield. Okay. Their Tomino started to come with peace with Victory and Gundam, so all faith is restored. I cannot wait to watch Victory. I've heard so many mixed things about it. It sounds like whatever it is, it's a great filter. Oh, it's okay. We turn that kind into cyber new types. I don't know if it's explained. It has to be explained in like the show, but I must have missed it. But it took me the longest time to realize, oh wait, cyber new types are all kids because they have malleable brains because their brains are still developing. I think I just missed that in the show. I'm pretty sure that was explained and I either forgot about it or missed it. Gundam mostly got its fame long after the initial release. Well, yeah, it's like the compilation movies was how the original series got its popularity after the fact. It was a year after. It was a flop in the television market, but then they made the 3 compilation movies and people were like, this thing's really sick because it has a lot better pacing. And that's really the problem. Gundam, in general, is paced as a war epic, which means it's very slow in plotting, which is not the most conducive for modern or even audiences back then. But you get nice compilation stories for Gundam, and it does a lot better. Let me get this. Okay. Zeta Gundam did well. Okay, I was gonna be surprised if like, because Zeta Gundam, I thought its success would model. I cannot wait until I get V-Bridger for my rebrand. I cannot wait for that. Because I thought its success is partially what led to the green lighting of Char's Counterattack. The late 70s and early 80s were real bad economically speaking. They were a mixed bag from what I understand, because you... But yeah, especially in like the... With Jimmy Carter. I don't... That was a... No, was that a Clinton or what was that? Jimmy Carter. Oh, it's JFK. Ha ha. Of course, JFK. The NTR president. Ah. I cheat on my wife not because it is easy, but because I am hard. Ha ha. Okay. That's actually gonna look really nice, and it's gonna be, because it's gonna be closer to the red, it's gonna bring out the red tones in the burgundy a lot more. Check Stream Talk. We'll be getting another upscaled 2.0, real grade 2.0, but with hatches and red light. Ooh. If I ever catch up to chat, I'll check that out. There we go. Okay. For Tomino, turn A is his magnum opus, and he was pissed off that Reconquista is in G flop, so he refused to do any more Gundam works now. Aww. Oh, I have heard like he'd worked on that one, or he did that one, and I have wondered like, why is that like the last one he did? But it's because he's just like, you know what, I guess it's the mentality is he's just like, I should have gone out on a high note. I had a high note with turn A, and you know what, if they don't want me, then I don't want to be there no more. I'll just go to like Gundam, like I'll go to Gundam events and say Zeke Zeon, and the crowd will go Zeke Zeon back at me, and you know what, I'll just ride that high from now on. And you know what, it looks like a pretty good high. I would love to go to I'd love to be the guy who, you know, gets a crowd to start going Zeke Zeon, you know, or Hail Zeon or whatever. I would love to be the guy who starts that, you know. I'd love to be the guy up on stage, you know, get that started. Yeah, space Nazis. They're not space Nazis, they're space Germans, so there's a lot more depth to Zeon than just being lol space Nazis. Unless it's Gearan, he kind of is just that. But the rest of Zeon, which is like, you know, thousands of or millions of people, it's a lot more complex than just space Nazis, I know. But It's still great as Zeon. Let's see here. Oh no, well, now you'll have to, get a new one. Is there water in here? Yes. The thing is, what I learned, the reason it's better to not have gloves on at this part is because you might have been noticing I've been doing like stuff like that, but like this, where I'm kind of brushing away the excess paint with my finger. And when you have a glove on, what happens is you smear it. And you might smear it when you do it like this, but you can easily just go, oh, just wipe it off here and then do it again. Like, wipe it off and do it again, and one, your finger will absorb the excess liquid of the paint because of osmosis. And it just seems that it just doesn't smear as much when you're not using gloves. Tomino will come to love. I would love to see another Tomino series. I'd love to see what he'd cook up after all this time. BRB, I need to share that. No. You know, wait. Before I look at Stream Talk, new Hathaway Flash movie. So, oh my god, if it gives me the Flash, if it gives me DC. Man, my fingernails are ugly today. They're all long. Look at that. Look how long those nails are, chat. They're hideous. I usually actually keep them pretty manicured. I do not do manicures. Sorcery of Nymph Cersei. Oh, I thought you were saying Nymph Cersei because we brought up Hathaway. Which you did. You were saying that's the movie, you know, Nymph Cersei. But the thing is that, let me explain. Hathaway is also in the Odyssey, and I couldn't remember if Cersei was in the Odyssey. So I thought you were just saying like, oh yeah, like Hathaway plays like the nymph, plays a nymph of Cersei in the Odyssey. So I completely missed that. My apology. My apology, chat. Okay. See, still funny. I love G Savior more than RFV. I'm terrible with contractions. G Savior is also an interesting one because like it's that one where like everyone knows about it and everyone talks shit about it, but then the people who actually watch it, or the people who I can confirm or sound like they've actually watched it, they always go like, it was okay, at the very least. Like, it's always like, oh, it was the live action Gundam, which was a massive mistake, and it probably didn't look great at parts, don't get me wrong. And I've seen, like, clips from it. But, like, every time, like, somebody walks up there, it's like, yeah, the mech designs are pretty neat, and, like, the story's okay. I've never actually heard somebody go like, oh, it's actually a travesty. I've never heard that. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I kind of like Tomino realizes his audience loves everything he hates, and vice versa, and he said fuck it. Tomino, I love the war crimes. I love it so much. I love it so much, Tomino. Show me more war crimes. It's like, this is supposed to be horrifying. They are. You do a wonderful job. Like, in the end of Gundam, I've always praised at the end of Gundam how people start dying by beam weapons because beam weapons are so commonplace at the end of the 1 year war. But the deaths are still horrific because every time somebody gets hit by a beam weapon, they take time to show that person getting stretched out and atomized. And it is horrific when people die in the 1 year war by disintegration. But I love seeing it because I'm just a sick bastard. Oh, good. Funny how Zeon fell off in Crossbone. Didn't like the Federation also just fall off? They just kind of collapsed because they just aren't in the long-term stable government. But yeah, in Crossbone, it's just, they're like, oh, we keep doing Zeon as the antagonist, and you know what? Screw it. Here's Jupiter. They've been doing shit. You know, even though they could have easily gone like, yeah, Mars Xeon has been building its strength for all these years, and now it's gonna be interplanetary warfare, and they're just like, no, we've been doing Xeon too much. Screw Xeon. Just, you know what? Mars Xeon, the thing that like everyone would love to see go to war with the Federation. No, screw that. We're gonna just go over to Jupiter. You know what? We're going over to Jupiter. Screw it. None of this matters. Don't worry. None of this matters. Still Xeon did worse in the 1 Year War. Apparently it's canonical that Amuro Ray is the strongest new type. I can believe it. It's just that we only see his feats really in the end of Char's counterattack, which seemed like to be extenuating circumstances, and we see his feats in the 1 Year War, which would not be extenuating circumstances. But then we just see Camille doing crazy shit like getting super armor at the end of Zeta Gundam. Let me look at stream chat. Let me catch up. Let me go to Discord. Just finished building the high grade. Ooh. GM3. That looks very nice. So Bandai upscaled. Wait, is that? Really? So people have already begun to upscale the 2.0 real grade. That is a fast turnaround, because that... Did that come out at the start of this year or late last year? Let's see here. It is ironic that the Nazi stance Xeon is never reflected nor practiced by Xeon proper canonically. The policies were all done by Federation instead, which is kind of the point, is that the evil can come from where any side. And if Giran was able to survive, and provided Cassilia doesn't kill him, he would have like enacted, you know, his eugenic policies and whatnot. But yeah, they very much have the dress, like, really, again, that's why I say it's really just Giran. That's why I call him Giran the Groiper, you know? Actually, I call him that because it's just funny to call him that, but Giran was like pretty much all of, like, you know, the eugenics and like New World Order stuff and like Djangoist, you know, expansionist, you know, true fascist element of Xeon. But then you remember that, like, he was just like the intelligence officer, and then you had, actually no, Cassilia was the intelligence officer. What did Giran even do? What did Giran do? Because he wasn't in charge of intelligence. I guess he was just the heir to the Empire. Ooh. But like in all the lore, he's the one who pushes forth the Djangoist expansionist policies. He's the one who does all like the worst stuff of Xeon, and then everyone else is just people. They're just kind of like understandable, cool people. Then you just have Giran in the background twirling his mustache. It's like, yes, I'm going to, you know, yes, we're going to do population controls. Yes, this Hitler fellow, he seemed like a keen man. Yes. To the point that he has one conversation with his dad, and he goes like, you know what, Dad? Hitler sounds like a cool dude. And then his dad just goes like, you know what? We're not doing this. Federation, let's negotiate a peace treaty. My son's a groiper. I don't want to do this war anymore. Xeon Propaganda, I watched it and enjoyed it. Federation still strong in Crossbones. Mars Xeon got wiped by SNRI. I know that they had, like, they were constantly having... Oh, really? I just looked up what SNRI meant. But, I just know that Xeon was Mars Xeon was constantly doing civil wars. Like, you just go like, oh, what's happening on Mars? Civil war, okay. Like, at least for the Federation, you'd be like, oh, what's happening right now? Oh, there's a war happening, then they have some, like, quote-unquote peace years, and then, you know, another war happens. Mars Zeon is literally just like, you look over, war. It's just a several decade-long civil war between, like, Cassilia and Gearan, like, fraction loyalists. And then you just go back to Federation and you're like, you know what? Actually, Earth Sphere is kind of better. Somehow, this is better. You know, having the Earth, you know, literally being choked by pollution, constant wars, you know, not as bad as what's going on Mars somehow. Somehow. Camille be chillin'. I do like how Camille had a happy ending. I do like how Judo had a happy ending. Ooh. I don't know if that's because Tomino let them have a happy ending or because he was too focused on Char's counterattack, so they were allowed to slip that in. You know, he was busy, you know, trying to decide just how bad things can get in Char's counterattack, so the other writers were just like, quick, give these guys happy endings because nobody else is going to have a happy ending in the series. I know other people that Tomino wrote have happy endings, but it's funnier to set it up like that. Okay. Also, Judo's my favorite protagonist, so I'm always happy that he got a happy ending. But in Crossbones, don't spoil it. Don't spoil what happens to him in Crossbones. I haven't gotten that far. But I know he looks like a character straight out of Astro Boy. Half of his art looks like he walked out of an Astro Boy comic. He gets a big bulbous nose. His hair gets that style. I don't know what's going on with him. Oh, is it Perfect Grade Unleashed? Sorry, I must have saw that. Wait. Okay, says it's on the Discord. I'm looking at the Discord. Kay sent a Bandai model upscale 2.0 with hatches and lights. So that's what I was looking at. Ooh. That looks really weird, but it's because its head is open, so it looks like it has a fat head. But this is what he shared on... He's saying it's an upscale 2.0. It's like a 1/100 scale 2.0 real grade, but this is what I was talking about. Is there a version of it where all the hatches aren't open? Yes, there is. And that's what it looks like when all the hatches aren't open, supposedly. But maybe... Okay, welcome, Zaza. Supreme Commander. Ooh. Let's see here. I honestly can't remember. He's big guy whose name I'm just forgetting, even though he's my favorite character in Gundam The Origin. Big dude is like in charge of the Space Naval Forces. The Twink is in charge of the ground invasion. The Fop, who I can't remember what his name is, but the pilot of the Gian, he's like a Cassilia dude. He's not even part of the Zabi family. I just was thinking of him for some reason. But he's in the Gian. He's like also intelligence, but he's working under Cassilia. Was he just in... Was Gearan just the second in command? Was he just the Heimlich Himmler? Which, by the way, who wrote that shit? Jesus Christ! If God is real, he's a hack writer. Okay, I'm gonna make World War II. Okay, and for this one, the main villain, his name is Hitler. Okay, what's his second in command? Oh shit, his second in Himmler. You can't be writing shit like that. You can't be doing shit like that. You can't be... Oh my god, that's like having a fucking character in your story named like Sauron, and then, you know, his second in command is like named Saruman. You know, he can't do shit. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe not a good example. Let me see. Oh wait, look at G3 gas. What happened to the movie called Zeon Counterattack? Why does What is a bittersweet ending? I'm actually gonna paint the outside of this. Oh, so in Crossbones, there's a mobile suit named Crossbones. Well, yeah, that I know that much. It's the Crossbone Gundam, unless there's just a completely different mobile suit that is coincidentally named Crossbone. Let's see here. As much as I like Gundam, that was the last song on the list. A minute. That is not how you spell Metroid. Maybe we shouldn't do Metroid again, actually. Maybe we don't want to get sued by Nintendo. So we'll get sued by... So we'll do some Microsoft music, yeah. Then they'll fight over the rights, and then we'll be safe. Have them fight. Play everyone against each other, like the Penguin. Ooh. Oh, God. Been watching the Penguin. It's actually really good. It's kind of funny how it's like, I'm gonna play all the sides, and then all the sides end up hating him. It's literally the story. It's like, I'll be everyone's guy, and then everyone finds out that he's like literally working for everyone else, and they're just like, well, so you're all everyone's enemy, and he's like, ah, shit, I am, aren't I? As much as I like Gundam using the Civil War as a cop-out in order to suddenly nerf the antagonist faction gets old. It is I will say, it is disappointing just to be like, oh yeah, you have Mars Zeon. It's funny in like, you know, reflecting on the fact that they're just constantly in Civil War, but it is frustrating that you never get that like wider spanning conflict. I mean, of course, yeah, you do eventually get the Empire with Jupiter and whatnot, but that's a completely different faction. And of course, you know, it makes sense. It's more grounded that like a new faction would rise, especially one so far away from Earth. But it almost kind of makes you go like, well, maybe you shouldn't have had Mars Zeon if you just were never going to do anything with it. Is almost how I feel about it. So I do like how Mars Zeon is just like, God, we really like the 1 Year War design, so we're just gonna redesign everything from the 1 Year War, but make them like, you know, second and like third generation mobile suits. I respect that. I respect that. Is it like a good idea? No, that's like going like, wow, I really like, you know, the Panzer tank from like World War II. So I'm just gonna like, you know, so imagine if Germany did that with like Panzer, with like modern tanks. They just made them look like Panzers and like Tiger tanks. It would look cool, but at the same time, it wouldn't be the best way to make a new tank. Oh, Supreme Admiral Dozel, thank you. So that's what you're saying. Just remember Dozel by his wife. I just remember how he proposed to his wife in Gundam The Origin, and I want to believe that's canon. There are a handful of things in Gundam The Origin where I'm just like, that's canon, that's how it happened. That's just how it happened. And everything with Dozel, I'm just like, that's canon. Okay? Everything else in Gundam The Origin I could take or leave, but Dozel, I'm like, that is my canon depiction of Dozel right there. You can be like, he's nothing like that in canon. No. He has like one scene, not one scene, but he has like one episode really in like the original series where he's like, my child and like my wife, go and be safe, you know, while I hold off the Federation. And it's just like, that's pretty cool of him. Okay, and that's good enough justification for me to be like, yeah, everything in Origin is canon for him. Nobody else. Everything else is just Char glazing himself up. It's just as the joke goes, it's Char telling Camille just lies about his career. You need to understand, this Red Comet guy from the 1 Year War, he was the coolest pilot to ever live. He was in a red mobile suit. You know, he was so cool, Camille. You should look up to this Red Comet guy. And Camille, just, you know, being autistic, is just redesigning the Gundam Mark II into the Zeta Gundam, which is still crazy that he did that. It's just like, Char. Cassilia is the third, exactly. Just remember Dozel's name by that. Let's get some more of these pieces out. Ooh. Topics. I had a bunch of topics written down for today's stream, and I knew that I'd get sidelined with just like I'd get too invested in talking to chat, and I wouldn't talk about any of my topics for like the first like hour of stream, because that's every time I'm like, yeah, I have all the topics. I have a bunch of topics just ready for stream. I always end up just talking to chat, which is a good thing. It's a very good for me to talk to chat. It's why I stream. But it's still always funny. At this point, I just know if I have no topics ready, I know it's just like this is gonna be nothing. Like that's gonna be the day with like low viewership and nobody's gonna be there, and then I'm gonna flounder and it's gonna be awful. But then if I have like 20 topics just lined up, I'm gonna talk about maybe one or two of them, because we're just gonna talk about random Gunpla shit. Lastly, Garma. I almost read that as Germa. That's why I paused after it. And then I just imagined Germa, you know, the streamer, in the place of all of Garma's scenes, like over the course of several seconds. And now that's in my brain permanently. Just Germa, you just replace Garma with Germa. That's now just in my brain forever. Thank you, chat. Garma is the fourth in command, also the commander of the whole Earth invasion force. Yes. Is the brother who dies in Gundam the Origin the one who literally looks like the Zabi? God damn it! I just forgot. God, now that I'm remembering all the other one. Now that you've reminded me everyone else's name. But the Patriarch's name, the leader of Zeon, is that guy canon? Because, like, I remember looking him up and it's like, he's canon, but there's nothing about him. So, like, he's canon, the son who gets assassinated before the 1 Year War. You know, he dies in the car bomb in Gundam the Origin. Apparently he's canon, but there's just, like, I couldn't find any information about him outside of Gundam the Origin, so I'm really confused about that. It's gonna be hot take from me, but I genuinely do not enjoy most of Gundam's writing. Ooh. I mean, for one thing, that's why you have the models. You don't have to like be the biggest fan. There are people who don't like the lore of Games Workshop, but then still love the tabletop of Warhammer 40k. But there is a lot of cliches within Gundam, and I can very much see like certain things just drawing you out of it. Like I always find it weird that I know that's like, oh hey, he was into petite mobile suits and he, you know, had experience, blah blah blah. I don't care. The fact that Camille is the one who designs the like double Zeta, the Zeta Gundam, not the double Zeta. I don't know where the hell the double Zeta comes from. Oh right, Rose just has it. They're just like, here's a new mobile suit for the new show. But the fact that Camille is like just the one who in any way even participates in the designing of the Zeta Gundam is crazy. Ooh. And things like that are always a little weird in a lot of Gundams. I do find it weird when like the main, like when the lead kid is like a whiz kid engineer. That's why I kind of prefer Geara from was it Gundam X, where he's just a dude. He's just like a 14-year-old, whatever he is, and he's just a kid. You know, he's not I mean, there's also another like 14-year-old who is like a super engineer, but that's his entire character trait. So I'm just like, okay, so you separated that out of the Gundam pilot. Okay, you know what? Okay, we still have a WhimzieCat engineer, but it's not also the main character pilot. So, you know, you made 2 characters out of it. You know what? That's a good way to do it. It's still weird that the expert in mobile suit design is a 14-year-old, and, like, the best engineer in the entire show is a 14. It's still weird that's the case, but it's not also our main character. He's not, you know, we're pulling that back a little. Wait. No, not Deku, not Char's father. The bald guy. I don't know why, I just forgot his name for some reason. Normally I can remember, remember his name and forget Giran's name, which is just... I just have a lot of brain rot right now. Someone else. Oh, you mean, the brother that got, bombed inside, the car along with Dozel, somehow yeah, the one when Dozel somehow survived. I love that because we see the explosion from inside the car, and the guy was sitting right on top of the bomb and gets disintegrated. Then Dozel just comes like literally punches the door off of the car. It's Gundam the Origin, so none of this is canon, so it's fine. And he's just like got like, and this is like where all the scars on his face come from. It's not from like battle or war. It's because he survived a car bomb. Somebody went full IRA on his ass, and he was just like, "Not today! They killed my brother!" And then it's really weird because they're like, "Oh my god, Giran and the dad like killed their like oldest son." But then like when you're watching the episode, I feel like it's supposed to be poetic irony, or wait, no, that's not the right term. It's when the audience knows something that other people don't. But you know Cassilia did the bomb, because everyone else is like, "Oh my god, like a car bomb just happened," and then Cassilia is just like, "Yes." Like Cassilia is just standing, everyone else is like, "Oh my god, my brother is dead," or "My son is dead," or "Oh my god, like, oh, this is horrible, what just happened?" And Cassilia's just standing there, just with a smirk on her face. It's like, "That's what you get for smacking me. I car bomb you." And it's just like, Jesus Christ, what a crazy bitch. Like, for context, in the scene prior, the guy who gets exploded smacked Cassilia. And so she was like very angry at him, and then just, you know, the first chance she gets, she just assassinates him. It was like, Cassilia's just crazy in Gundam the Origin. She's doing like spy thriller stuff and whatnot. I mean, the animation is different than the Tomino's writing, so it's a fair game, but Gundam is one of the most self-defeating stories, animation writing ever. I don't constantly blow up their own messages, and then the only message you get is essentially might makes right. I can see that. For me, Gundam, the story is that nobody's allowed to learn their lesson in Gundam, is one thing I realized with Char's Counterattack. Like, the point of Gundam is not for the characters to learn anything, but for you as the audience to learn. And you might not appreciate this, and that'd be completely fine, because it's kind of a weird way to go about things. But the whole point is, the reason that Char does the, like, worst decision imaginable and becomes everything he hates is because it's literally the worst thing he can do. The message is just like, even the person who should not be doing this is going to do, is that anyone is susceptible to it. It's literally whatever the worst solution is, Tomino's going to be like, "That's what I'm going to write. I'm going to write the characters having the worst, like, learning the wrong things." And it's kind of like Old Testament, where like it has a bunch of bad examples in the story of people, so that you as the audience go like, "Well, they're stupid. Why did they do that?" And you're like, "Exactly. Why did they do that?" Like in Job, when all of Job's... This is kind of... I know this is a reach, but I'm just trying to explain it the best I can. But it's like in Job, when Job, you know, is suffering, like, he has 3 friends that come to him, and all of his friends are just shit friends who just, like, berate him the whole time. And the reason that happens in the story is so that way you can be like, "Oh, this is what you're not supposed to do." And I'm not sure if this is what you're talking about at all, but for me, this is what Gundam is. It's the fact that it's always a lesson of everything sucks. And yeah, Might does kind of make right. Tomino doesn't really care for like the what is it? The diplomacy side of things. We get like one scene of diplomacy where Char is like, I'm the son of Dekum and the Titans are evil. And then it's just like back to throwing things at Earth, you know? Is that the whole point of Gundam is that war is bad, but Tomino never shows a solution outside of war. And I feel like that's what you're saying, is that Tomino never shows a solution outside of war while having the message that war is bad. So in that way, it is very much contradictory or self-defeating. I would agree with that is a bit of a problem. But at the same time, I don't really take that away from Gundam. I take, again, the purpose of Gundam being more, these are the worst things you can do. These are just people making the worst decisions that they can. So, that was kind of longer explanation than it needed. Welcome, Ricey. Welcome, welcome. Is Grimderp? Oh, God. Grimderp is a good way to explain it. Tomino's just a depressed dude. Tomino has a self-insert character of Char Aznable, and depending on how happy he was whether or not Char was doing good or bad things in the story. And in Char's Counterattack, he wasn't a very happy boy. Oh, God. Yeah, I separate Tomino and the animation writing because Tomino straight up said that there's no message. He just wrote war stories, and it's the animation that decides to add the preachy parts. Hearing Tomino say there's no message is a little surprising because, again, it does feel like he goes out of his way to be like, yeah, then my characters make the worst decision possible. But then again, I guess that is what war is. You know, war is people just going like, oh, hey, how can I just make everything worse? But so one of my favorite things about Gundam is how it is probably really one of the peak stories. It really is. It is a post-World War II Japanese story in every stretch of the imagination. Is that it is a great cultural artifact from Japan for that reason. Is if you want to understand, like, in America, we have a very specific ideology and, like, psychology about war. In Japan, it's a very different psychology because they lost the war. And you can see that reflected in works like Gundam, or even more recent example would be Godzilla -1, where they were a culture that fully believed in like the honor of war and combat, and then they kind of got like shown their own inhumanity that can lead to in the post-war period. The Gundam, there's still a little bit of fightiness in them even after all of that. This is why I think the Japanese are a little terrifying. I believe if the Japanese had military power again, they would not fucking hesitate to use that shit. I feel like despite all the decades, I feel like the Japanese are just as fighty as they were in the 1940s. They're just more contained about it. Ooh, in that way, they're very much like Zeon. It got censored. Let me see if it's still up. I actually had a window up before stream for when... It looks like it either got censored earlier or it got really badly censored. Sorry about that, Gundam. I feel like I'm retreading too much ground. I'm gonna look at my topics. Oh. Actually, I was supposed to do a new poll. I'm gonna replace the poll that's currently up, actually. So humor me for 1 minute while I do that. It's gonna take me a second. I got too invested in talking to chat. Oh. Thank you for checking out the video, guys. It's really appreciated. It was way too long. I'm sorry. You know, next time instead of making a 2.5-minute video, I'll just make it like I'll just make it 30 seconds. You know, that should be a lot better. Now this is a serious question, but bore is not the word I want. Vote once in. What are the options for this one? Hopefully I can put bitch in the one of the options. Anyone outside the US will not understand the last option, but anyone in the US is going to understand the last. It's going to understand the joke. Well, let's get back here. I'm still upset that I can't. Every time I make a poll, I'm upset that I cannot make a poll on Twitch. Yeah, I was saying about war crimes is fun, and gassing, then dropping a colony on Australia. Listen, they're aiming at South America. It's really the Federation's fault that it hit Australia, okay? If they weren't such sore losers, it would have just hit Jaburo, the war would have been over, and then, you know, everything would have been dandy. Okay, if you think about it, the real bad guy is the Federation. Wait a minute. Let me give this piece. You know, one thing I have not considered with Gundam Seed Destiny, I just realized, is that I know it's going to get more 2000s anime. It's going to get even more over the top and whatnot. But one element I kind of just haven't considered is that what if it also gets, like, more preachy? Because you mentioned how, like, the preachy writing of Gundam sometimes, and I was like, what if it also gets, like, way more melodramatic on top of everything else? And if it does, then I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it. Seed, I was not the biggest fan of, but my favorite parts of Seed were the parts where it was super melodramatic and taking itself 100% seriously while doing it. And if Gundam Seed Destiny is more of that, I'm going to love the series for all the wrong reasons. I really hope there's more deaths that are supposed to be really horrific to see, but are just super funny as well. Like when the one guy goes into the fighter jet and he's like, I need to go help main character guy. I'm just forgetting everyone's name. But he's like, literally for no reason. He's not like on a back foot or anything, but he's like, I need to go help the main character. I need to go get in a jet. And while watching the episode, I'm just like, so that guy's gonna go and get killed. Like the only reason he's going to get in a jet is because they need somebody to die on the Federation side. Because I think, like, Nicole just died, I think, when I was watching it. So Nicole just dies, and I'm like, okay, well, they need to be, like, you know, even, Steven. So that guy needs to go out into the battlefield so, you know, a good guy, quote-unquote, can die as well. And, yeah, that's exactly what happens, but how he died, I did not see coming. Because Athrun, who I can remember I can remember because I remember Athrun as an Arthur, and I think of him like a knight. But Athrun, how he kills this character, the character that Gundam Seed wanted this character to be the Ryu of their show so bad, but he will never be that guy. Ryu is my king. Ryu from the original Gundam is so good. Ooh. But, I think Opus might have just been saying hey as in hello. Well, maybe not. But how he kills this guy is he sees their fighter jet flying, and he doesn't go like, oh, let me shoot down the fighter jet. He's like, no, I'm going to throw my shield like Captain America into the cockpit of it, and it rolls through the nose of it, and it hits the pilot, and like, chat, have you ever had like a tube of toothpaste that you squeezed really hard and the top of it popped off? That's what happens to the pilot, but his head. And it's all shown in like slow-mo. And you might be like, well, how could you be laughing? This sounds horrible. Oh, it is horrific. But the problem is that all the characters are like mid-2000s stereotype anime characters in every way, super melodramatic, eyes that are like, you know, 50% of their head height and all that stuff. You know, you can't tell who's a man and who's a woman before a character, you know, opens their mouth and says something, and even then you're like, okay, well, they're being voiced by a woman, so I still don't know if it's a man or a woman because they're all kids. So you have to wait for somebody to be like he or she, you know? And even then, you're like, is Nicole a man? And it's like, no, the character's name is Nicole. It's obviously a dude. It's like, are you sure, though, that, like, I thought Athrun was a woman. Are you sure Nicole isn't a dude? And it's like, no, the character's name is Nicole. Yeah, and Camille's name is Camille. That's actually a good point. But because it's all the stereotypes of, like, anime, I just can't take it seriously, of like the anime of its era. I can't take it seriously. I can't get invested in like mid-2000s anime. It's a me issue, but because that's the one era of anime that I cannot, like, that my suspension of disbelief cannot be separated, I'm just laughing the whole time it's happening. I was laughing when Nicole died. Every time there's melodrama in Gundam Seed, I'm laughing my ass off because it's just the era for me. I'm remembering as, like, if I was watching this as a kid, I'd be like, this is the greatest story ever written. But I'm not a kid. So I'm sitting there thinking of how seriously I would have taken this story and laughing. Yeah, he was just saying, hey, Athrun pulled a crazy move in Seed Freedom. It's a spoiler, so I'm sure it is one of the most animes of all Gundam. I'm not gonna say it's the most anime, because Double Zeta Gundam's actually pretty anime, which is ironic because Double Zeta, not an anime, and it's easily the most anime of the original Gundam, of the UC Gundam. But I can believe it. It's very, very anime in, like, pejorative, which I feel like isn't fair. It's a product of its time. And in that regard, it is actually really good. The fact that it is everything you would want, for better or for worse, from a mid-2000s Gundam series. Like, you want to... That's one of the things I love about the alt universes, is the fact that they are just... They are exactly what they should be for their era of anime, at least most of the time. Ooh. There was a lot of shonen, you know, fighty animes in, like, the late 90s, so, you know, in, like, the mid and late 90s. So, what is G-Fighter? It's just a shonen Gundam, like, anime. It still has the messaging that war is bad and we all need to get along. But also, there's a tournament arc, because those are cool, guys. I remember when every anime had a tournament arc, including Gundam. That was an era. Was it a good era? Yes. In all honesty, the tournament arcs are kind of... I feel like the problem with tournament arcs is that they're very lazy ways to get characters to fight each other. But at the same time, and it's a very lazy way to keep, like, to make it so that, like, okay, we're fighting the weak person going up. But they are fun. I love the Yu Yu Hakusho tournament fight. I love the classic Dragon Ball. I love the tournament fights in classic Dragon Ball. I like tournament fights, okay? People always give tournaments like a bad name. They're always like, "Oh, tournaments are so stupid in anime and blah blah blah." I like them. I like them. I enjoy them a lot. And you know, seeing like when the main character watches his best friend get the crap beat out of him in the tournament, and then they're like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna fight that guy and get back at him for beating the crap out of my friend." Those moments are hype. Okay? Sure. It might be like simpler way to write a story. It might be like a little bit more rigid in how things progress, but it's still nice. I still enjoy it. So I know you found interesting stuff. Check stream chat. Will do. Nicole is a femboy and should make it better. I don't know. Everyone's a femboy. Everyone's a femboy in Gundam Seed. What do you mean? They're all traps or reverse traps. What do you mean? Everyone in that series. Well, everyone who's like below the age of 17. Once you hit the age of 17 in Gundam Seed, you just grow like 3 feet, get a beard, an amazing jawline if you're a man, or just world-class breasts and beautiful long hair if you're a woman. Unless you are baddie, you Bedrilga. Sorry, her name literally has bad in it. Unless you're Bedrilga. I still can't get over, I need to I still can't get over the fact that I'm convinced that Prison Battleship based its characters off of the 2 lead female, like, characters of Gundam Seed, the 2 like adult military characters, because they look too similar. But we cannot retread that topic. I remember when I said that on stream, when I was just like, you ever notice that those characters from Gundam Seed, they kind of look like the characters from Prison Battleship? And then I just ended stream and chat was just like, they do. Wink, wink. This one. Still feels a little purpley for me. But I'm just relying on the fact that when it all comes together, it's just going to bring out the red a little more. Originally, I was going to have the red on the green, but I kind of painted a gray one first, so I'm just committed to painting the gray parts. It looks like I am going to have to do some sanding, though. Let's see here. And then... well, the Vernon, these seem really simple, that these should also be a nice burgundy. A nice Ron burgundy. Oh yeah, that was me who brought the character up, and then you drop that one. And I regret it now, because I can't unsee them anymore. It's not my fault that Naomi and Badrilga have like the same character design and personality. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. Ooh, do not shoot the messenger. This is actually looking really nice. Actually, burgundy Vernairs look really, really nice. Prison Battleship is like, we got Gundam Seed at home, or I think I downloaded the wrong Gundam. Oh, God. Depending on how old you were. Prison Battleship would either be horrifying or very exciting if you downloaded it by accident while trying to get Seed. Brings a whole new meaning to Gundam Seed, firstly. But secondly, regardless of how old you were, you'd be in a lot of trouble the moment your parents found out about it. No, that would scar somebody if they were like really small and they saw it. Ooh, and it'd overstimulate somebody who was older. Let's see here. What? There we go. America knows Prison Battleship character's name? Well, Naomi's just a really easy name to remember. I don't remember anyone else's name. I just remember Naomi's name. Because Naomi, as like a listen, that's one of those names that like, when you see in Japanese, it's like a character named Lee. You're like, oh, there's some people in the West named Lee as well. Ooh, so it's one of those names. I can't remember anyone else. Haven't you noticed how he always wears gloves? He's hiding the evidence. Oh, that's just nasty. Oh, that's nasty. Let's see here. Oh my goodness, speaking of nasty, some people made a VTuber ovulation website. I'm sorry to report I'm not on it, chat, so you can't find out my ovulation cycles. I couldn't say that with a straight face. I couldn't. I broke. But yeah, there are people who, because a lot of VTubers are women, most of them. And a lot of them are pretty public, you know, about, I don't know why my model keeps breaking, actually. It's because my stand is too low, so let me adjust that. That should help the model a little. But some people just made an ovulation website, and God knows how accurate it is. If they hacked Love and Deep Space accounts, then it's probably pretty accurate. But if it's just people online winging it, just guessing, it's men, so they probably have no idea. They're probably like, oh, she said she had a stomach ache. That means she's like super fertile right now, right? Guys don't know shit. Guys don't know how periods work. They're weird. The guys are the periods, yes. Oh god. I did not find it. It was posted online. It's posted on the Twitter. Ooh. And there are generally two reactions to like the ovulation website. It's like, oh my god, this is disgusting. How could people make this? And the other one is, why am I not on the website, damn it? Vettel is on the website. Vettel is a man. Vettel is on the ovulation website. He will never beat the femboy allegations. The poor son of a bitch. Oh god. He will never beat the submissive and breedable allegations. Oh god. That's creepy. It is creepy. It is creepy. But I kind of look at it more on the funny side of it. I'm sure some people are using it to be creepy, but I'm also sure that it was started as a joke and then it probably got out of hand. But you know, you say it's creepy, but there is a feature in Love and Deep Space where it's just a thing. Where in Love and Deep Space, it's just... God, I can't believe this. There is an ovulation tracker. There is a period tracker in the game Love and Deep Space. And when it came out, the feature, it was lauded. The women who played the game was like, this is the best game to ever exist, because now my fake husbando in the video game can be like, you're on your period. do you need any words of support? And it's just like, if a fucking real dude did that, if a real man was like, you're on your period, baby, do you need any help with anything? A woman would be like, why the fuck do you know I'm on my period, you fucking creep? You could be married to a woman for 10 years, and if you know her ovulation cycle, she'd be like, you fucking creep. But you know, you put in Love in Deep Space, and women are like, this is what romance means. It's just never... Oh my god. Why can't women be like men? Men just look at big titties and go, me happy. Women have to be like, I need you to be very invasive into my personal life, but never ask me questions about my personal life. You just have to know these things inherently and instinctually. And you can't talk to my friends behind my back to get this information, because then you betrayed me and talked to my friends behind my back. And it's like, how the fuck am I supposed to know anything about you if you don't share anything about yourself? And it's just like, you're just supposed to know it. You're supposed to just know it inherently. It's like, I fucking ask, and you just go, and you just don't say anything. Is it fucking, you gotta be a mind reader, bro. You gotta be a mind reader. Oh, God. What did you come back to? I'm guessing you came back to the Love in Deep Space period tracker, which is a feature in the game Love in Deep Space. But we got into that topic because there's a period tracker for, like, VTubers, that is made by fans, quote-unquote fans. And I'm not sure if it's, like, fans having a joke about it or fans having a wank about it. But either way, a little too far, fellas. Ooh. It's one of those things that now it's out, it's like, well, that was creepy, but it's also kind of like, now that it's done, we can laugh at it. Actually, I think the website was taken down when it was revealed, or it got DDoSed. I'm not quite sure which one is true. But, you know, you came at just the right time. Ooh. Like a wizard, you came. You know, I'm very proud of myself. I haven't been doing a lot of gay voice in this stream. You know, I was really concerned I'd just be doing the whole stream with just a voice that sounded like my breath smelled like Lake Erie, and I'm just happy I'm not a stereotype today. I still can't get over those Caleb Hammer guys. Fucking, it's not the first people he's had who are gay on his channel, but it's just literal walking stereotypes. They unironically talk like this, and it's like, oh no. I've never known a gay person in real life who talks like that. Ooh, I still remember a gay friend who I had in high school where it was just in the middle of a conversation with him. It was a group conversation. I just go like, and I stop the conversation and go like, wait a minute. And I just like lean in and go like, are you gay? Because I don't even remember what he's talking about, but I just leaned in and went like, are you gay? And he's like, yes, Merrick. Like, we have known each other for months, and you're just now figuring out that I'm gay? And I was like, I just didn't, like, I didn't pick up into this point. And he's just like, so all the times I've been like, there's no good men in this school, you were just like, what? And I just thought you were talking about, like, men to have as friends, not to fuck. And he's just like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, oh, sorry. This is like, okay, so now we know that. I have horrible gaydar, but oddly a very good gaydometer, which is when people are pretending to be gay if they're pretending or not. But my gaydar is just worthless. I cannot my gaydar is awful. If you download the unpatched ROM, you can only do 2 missions and no more missions. I saw that on the Discord. That is weird. I didn't know if I should download it. Okay, you guys are just talking about that. Oh, you know what? Actually, I realized something about Area Lulu. Something, since I rewatched The Lord of the Rings, has just been bugging the hell out of me. Because I just couldn't figure it out with Area Lulu, a friend of the channel. And I just been thinking for the longest time for like the last week. And it's just like, right after I watched the film. But after watching Fellowship, I saw Boromir, and I was like, God, Boromir is such a great character. Also, he completely fails and is corrupted by the ring. And at that moment, I thought, why have I never seen Ariel Lulu thirst over this man? She loves man failure. She loves men being brought low and being weak and vulnerable. And I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. And for the last, like, week and a half, every now and then, I've had the thought, what? Why Heinkel? Why Heinkel, that failure piece of shit? But then Boromir, I feel like Boromir's father, you know, it's just hyping him up. Just like, why not Boromir? Boromir would be a better man to be a husbando. You know who'd make a better husbando? Boromir. Fucking. But I was kind of just like, I don't understand Aerie's type. Until today, where she made a post that just like, the truth comes out. I love Heinkel because he's a nothing character who's a complete failure, and I'm like, oh my god, it's the fact that the reason she doesn't love Boromir is because Boromir is too important of a character, because he is integral to the story of Lord of the Rings on like a thematic and just narrative level, because his interactions with Aragorn pushes Aragorn to do what he does. Literally him falling to the ring leads to the Fellowship breaking down. Like, he is super important. But also, he gets redeemed. After falling to the ring, he saves, well, he tries to save, he creates a distraction for Frodo, and that distraction allows Frodo to get away, and he has that whole moment with Aragorn where he's like, you know, you were my captain, you were my king, you know, he has that amazing speech, you know, that really heartfelt, but it's also his redemption in that moment, and it's like, that's why Aerie can't, like, that's why Aerie's never been attracted to him, because he's a character who's not, who's not 100% a piece of shit. He has redeemable features. That's why. Fuck. It all makes sense now. Oh, God. It all comes together, but we love Aerie here. Ooh, but it was just like, and mind you, like, it's very much her husbando characters are just characters that, you know, she has flights of fancies for, but it was just something that was just like, why not Boromir? Literally just the steward of Gondor sitting in my black chair, just like, why not Boromir? Just holding the broken horn, it's just like, she could have thirsted for you, my son. The dumbest, most pointless thought I've ever had is just like, why is my friend not thirsting for Boromir, the true Chad? So fucking stupid. You had a boss once that, and he had a lisp big time, but denied he was gay and had a very fat wife. What's the term for a gay man's wife that's like not really his wife, but it's a wife to make it so he doesn't look like he's gay? And the stereotype is a fat woman that he never fucks. Way later in life, my mom mentioned him, and his boyfriend, he was a fucking stereotype. He did the thing. Wait. Gay man wife. Beard. It's a beard. A woman married to a gay man. It's a beard, right? That's what it's called? He had a beard. I'm sorry, but it's... I shouldn't be laughing at that, but whenever I see stereotypes in real life, I can't help but fucking laugh. It's a horrible trait. It's a horrible quality. But you think of it, and if I saw it, I'd be like, that's really fucking funny. Like, I would feel so bad. But like, it's because of the fact that I don't believe in stereotypes. So when they're affirmed, I think it's absurd and becomes comedic because I don't believe in stereotypes is the problem. So when I see a stereotype happening, I'm like, I shouldn't laugh at that. But again, I don't believe... Again, I know that, like, you know, there's roots in reality and whatnot, but it just always gets me. The gaydar also works better if you're queer yourself. That's true, because you have to find other gay men to fuck. So you have to be more on the lookout for it. Bromir. What do I make the character who's a good brother and the other one has father issues? Ah, yes. Boromir and Faramir. I love this. Every time I hear a character's name, I just always think of those memes for the Tolkien naming his characters. They're always so good and on point. I think those were from 4chan, like a lot of good memes. It's just green text from 4chan, and it's just people shitposting about Tolkien, how he named his characters. And you know what? They're not wrong. It's the funniest part. It's like, a clan of hobbits who are proud of their feet. Takes hit from pipe. I have it. They're called the Proudfoots for those who don't. Sorry, Proud Feets. Wait, is it Proud Feet or Proud Foots if it's plural? There's a whole part of that in the Lord of the Rings, but I can't remember. Tolkien made sure to cover his Tolkien was a linguist, so he was sure to cover how to say everything in his story, down to the characters' names, even if they were made plural. Because, you know, he was a nerd. Which is why Lord of the Rings is so good. Oh! I just noticed that. One sec, before I can catch up to chat, I need to... That's the wrong thing. There it is. I need to move Twitch chat back down. Thank goodness I didn't miss any chats in that. They are called a beard. Thank you. Thank you, Opus. I see, like a side character that, one forgotten. That's not the only one. My, second cousin went, to California for a year or two, and came back with a Pat Rival from SNL. With Pat Rival from SNL had a couple kids and divorced her to make a dude that's... Wait. Had a couple of kids, divorced her to marry a dude. That's when it all made sense. Okay. So I was reading that as one whole thing. And then it all came together. What is it? Norm Macdonald, actually, I remember, had a joke where it was a radio skit, but it was like the first gay couple. And it was just these two guys, and they were like, best viewers, no. No, damn it, that has to be deleted. That didn't get caught by chat, so let's delete that. But it's the first gay couple, and it's just like, God, you know, like, I love, like, and I'm not really, there's just two guys with us, I'm not really a fan of women, you know, I just wish I could, you know, hang out with, like, you all day and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but you can't fuck each other. And then it's just like, well, you can. It's like, you can? Well, yeah, we do have a hole. And then they just do the fornication, but it's on radio. So it's just Norm Macdonald going like, yeah, this doesn't feel too bad. And then the guy who's getting sodomized just screaming. And it's just like, it's such a horrible joke. But I still laugh at it. Because it's just a guy screaming because he's getting sodomized. And Norm Macdonald going, yeah, you know what? I think this is a good idea. Yeah, this is pretty nice, you know? Oh, she could rival Pat from SNL. Okay, okay. With a doppelganger, it sounds as what you're saying. With how you originally phrased it. Okay, it wasn't quite. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. You know, honestly, I thought there wouldn't be a lot of prep on this kit, which is pretty stupid. It's a reborn, so there's actually not as much color separation as in a master grade, so you have to do more work anyways. But I'm happy that I'm happy I'm going to have, what is it, like 6 days to get all the prep done off stream. Huh? You know, I just realized I'm doing this wrong. You might be like, what do you mean? You're supposed to paint the inside first, then paint the outside. But I'm not doing it entirely wrong, because I'm just doing the lip right now. I'll have to paint the inside, the deep inside black. Black, and then I can paint the inner rim, which you can see is still gray, which I haven't gotten to yet. Then I'm going to have to paint that burgundy separately. Which I don't think I'm going to do with these Verniers, because that just seems like too much. Now, one of my favorite things about metallic paints that I've learned, or at least with the bronze and gold, it doesn't hold true for steel as much, but with bronze and gold, if you overpaint, you can just scrape it off with your finger and not damage the plastic. I'm not going to do that on purpose, but that is something that I've realized makes me a really big fan of bronze and gold paint. Because it makes them super forgiving. And we're going to be doing a nice coat of bronze because gold would be a little too ornate for this kit. But I want something that stands out and that nice warm tone in the green. A nice yellowish warm tone in the green looks really nice. So let me mix this up. I'll read chat in a second when I'm done mixing this. There we go. Remember when I said that like I had a bunch of topics and I'd get through like 2 of them? I've like literally gotten through 2 of them. I want to talk about more of them. Sound like Norm? Ah. Norm, I still miss Norm. Norm is my favorite comedian of all time. I've absolutely adored Norm Macdonald. I still adore him. He just... He just, anything that comes out of his mouth, I would just laugh uncontrollably over. Whether it's him being Burt Reynolds in Celebrity Jeopardy, him talking about getting fired from SNL. I love when he just went on to the Tonight Show or whatever it was, and he was just like, yeah, I'm fired from SNL, and the host is just like, you are? He's like, yeah. You know, and I called them up, and they were like, "Yeah, you're fired." And I was like, "Oh, why?" And they just went, "You're not funny." And I just was like, I don't really have a comeback to that. You know, if I'm not funny, you know, it's just, nah. I can love Norm. Like he gets fired, and the like host of the Tonight Show, who also had been like fired by the same company, not SNL, but like the CBS or whatever. Was just like being like, like you're in a safe place. You can talk crap about them if you want. And no one's like, nah. Ooh. Terrible gambling problem though. God, but if you want a really good laughs, check out Mike Tyson Mysteries, which was one of the final works from Norm Macdonald. He wasn't a writer, I don't think, but he voiced a character named Pigeon. The character's name was also Richard because he was a dick. But Pigeon, who was just a man who got turned into a pigeon, and he's just a foul-mouthed piece of crap, but it's so good. My favorite joke from Mike Tyson Mysteries is when a vampire appears, and then like a guy gets turned into a vampire and attacks them, and everyone like panics, and Pigeon just pulls out a gun. Mind you, when I say pigeon, I mean he is a literal pigeon, pulls out a gun as big as himself and shoots the guy. And then everyone just goes like, where did you get a gun? And he just goes, my pocket, and just puts it away. This cartoon logic in a show that is relatively like just pretty grounded, and that's where the humor comes from. It's like everyone's just like supposed to be like real people, but then crazy things happen. Like a leprechaun jumping out of a dude who gets too greedy. Oh god. Do you have MG Jagan? Master Grade Jagan. So I can recreate the scene from F91. Dan and I do not have a Jagan, though. I feel like at this point, if I see a Master Grade Jagan, I'd get it. But in the if I saw a Master Grade Jagan in the wild, I feel like I would get it at this point, because the Jagan, like the, what is it, the think Mary, the GM command space type is probably my favorite successor to the GM. Just how the command space type is my favorite GM, the Jagan is my favorite successor to it. Yeah, it's my favorite successor. But I don't want to get a high grade, because the high grades don't really have good color separation from what I've seen, or at least the custom ones. So, but I would be interested in a master grade. I just don't think I've ever seen it. So no, we can't recreate it. Ronald McDonald? No, Norm. Would you play Re9 when it drops? If my computer can handle it, maybe. Resident Evil 9. I know the last Resident Evil got a little... It had that demo with the big vampire woman, and everyone was like, this is amazing. And then it turns out she's just like a minor boss. Like, she is an important big boss in the whole thing, but she's, relatively speaking, Dimitrescu. Dimitrescu. It's weird. Like, the proper fucking Dimitres, whatever. Who cares about pronouncing it in the correct Romanian? But everyone was just like, so this is like the main villain, the big mommy vampire woman, and they're just like, oh, no, she's just like one of several bosses. Merrick, Mary. Ooh. I loved that show. Think that there was more. Only watched the first 2 seasons, I think, of Mike Tyson's. I think it only ran for like 3 or 4 seasons, so like you didn't miss like a whole lot, but it's pretty good. I think it was technically canceled, but I don't think that's a bad thing, because it's better to be canceled when you're really good than like to be a show that runs on forever. And I don't think it's a show that could have just run on forever. I think it's a show that probably had a lifespan to it. So like 3 or 4 seasons are still really good. The werewolf episode. Sorry, I just remember the werewolf episode where Young Hee, Mike Tyson's Asian daughter, I forget what ethnicity, it doesn't matter, but his Asian daughter, who was like left on his doorstep like Moses. You know, Moses famously in Exodus left on a doorstep, as you know. But she's like dating a guy who's like turning into a werewolf, and what happens is that he has control of it, like, is that they think he's coming to kill her because he's a werewolf. And then at the end of the episode, it's like, he's like, oh no, like, I have control of my of myself as I'm a werewolf. I just came over to ask if, you know, like, you'd have a second date with me. And Young, he's like, yes, I would go on that second date. And then you just hear a bang, and he falls over, turns back into a human, and dies. And this is Mike Tyson with a bullet, had a silver bullet from the band The Silver Bullets. Every year, his friends from The Silver Bullets, the band, send him a silver bullet. So he just has a bunch of silver bullets. And after this whole emotional, like, after the whole thing of just like, oh, the joke is that, you know, like, he's not actually a bad werewolf, he's actually a good guy. And it's just like, we were playing with your expectations. They just kill him, and that's actually the joke. There's a lot of things like that in Mike Tyson Mysteries, like when Pigeon is going to get turned back into a human by his wife, because his wife turned him into a pigeon, so he reconciles with his wife, and his wife goes out and starts doing the incantation to make him into a human, and then says, "Dark gods, make me into a pigeon too!" And then she gets turned into a pigeon, and you just have Norm Macdonald shouting, calling her an idiot, and she's just flying in the air like, come fly with me, husband. And then just Ogo Pogo, which is a lake monster in America, jumps out of the water and just eats her. It's just so random what happens in that show, and I love every episode. That mobile suit is literally you. Ooh. The Jagan. Bright and Mirai reveal the new Hathaway trailer. Oh, yeah. I like how people are upset that Bright doesn't have a mustache, which I can understand in actuality, but some people like Bright, people are either saying that Bright looks too old or not old enough. Firstly, when the man was like 18 years old in the original Gundam, the guy looked like he was in his 30s. So like, the fact that, it's not until he's like in his mid 40s or even 50s that he starts looking like he's in his 40s. You know, the man's actually been aging pretty well. Don't shit talk Bright Noah. He's our guy. But yeah, everyone is either saying like he looks either too old or too young, which is weird. Nobody can agree. They're just like, he has crow's feet, but no other signifiers of being old. Oh. Mike Tyson mysteries? Yeah, we talking Mike Tyson mysteries. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. On my bucket list, I wanna... It's like, punching a chupacabra's on my bucket list, so that's why I wanna do this mission. Mike Tyson mysteries, so off the walls. The episode that just opens with Pigeon just going about like his day seemingly normally, and he's just like a normal person but just a pigeon, and you're like, what is going on here? Like, he's kind of cordial to people. He's like, excuse me, pardon me, you know, he's just seeming like a normal person but just pigeon. And then after like 2 minutes of this, he opens a door, and then there's the rest of the Mike Tyson mystery crew there, and he's just like, nobody picked me up, where were you assholes? He sits down and goes back to being his usual like a-hole self, and you're like, oh, that's really funny. Bright should have a mustache. Yeah, he has a mustache in other sources. It's weird that they didn't give it to him. Ooh. They just were like, no, we're gonna give him like wine mom crow's feet instead. The only scene I remember is he says that Korean is a type of Chinese. That's it. Young Hee's Korean. And yeah, the scene is he's Young Hee, can you read this? Because it's like a letter wrote in Mandarin. And so it's like Young Hee goes like, oh, it's in like somebody says it's in Mandarin, and Mike Tyson goes like, Young Hee, can you read this? And she just goes, no, why would I? Because you're Korean. Like it's like, because you're Chinese. And she just goes, no, I'm Korean, which is a type of Chinese. I love how it's also a parody of like those 90s shows and whatnot where like celebrities would just have like cartoons of themselves. So it's like the Chuck Norris cartoon, which if you didn't know is a thing. There's a Chuck Norris cartoon. It's parodies of those kind of things as well. Like, not only is it a parody of things like, you know, Scooby-Doo, but just that era where like people are just like, oh, make this celebrity, give them like a cartoon show, you know, the kids will love it. And it just has so many off the wall scenes, and it has... God, I love Mike Tyson mysteries. Oh god. Let's get this piece off. There's always more to prep, but is there any more to prep on stream is the question. Let's get different music up, because that music just finished. Okay. So we can prep this. What time is it? Yes, the Mr. T cartoon is also another good example of that. Ooh. It's like putting a hat on a hat. I don't know why I thought of that line. I don't know why, because it's Mike Tyson, like, half the time when he says things are just idioms that are incorrect. Ooh. God, I really... Ah, God. If I wasn't watching Gundam, I would just rewatch Mike Tyson at the end of stream right now. Hathaway Flash is a kind of ass in that they tried to force it into becoming a Counterattack sequel instead of Beltranca's sequel. Ooh. Well, that's kind of the problem, isn't it? The fact that it has to fit in line with the mainline canon and not the alternate universe canon, so I'm not surprised that they'd have to make sacrifices for that. Thing is, I don't know all the differences between Bellatronka and is it? I always just say Bellatronka. I never actually read it. Beltorchica. So why do I say Bellatronka? Where the hell does that come from? Beltorchica, children. Why have I been saying Bellatronka for like the last year? What is wrong with me? Don't answer that question. They were out here giving everybody a cartoon in the 80s, dude. That is true. They even gave some Ninja Turtles a cartoon. Anybody could get a cartoon in that era. I love the fact that in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the guy who voices Raphael in the original cartoon voices Donatello in the like Nickelodeon CGI one. And there's an episode where like they hop across universes and they go to the original cartoon, and the Raphael of the original cartoon just tells the Donatello that he sounds weird, and it's just the same voice actor. I just love those jokes when it's just the same voice actor talking to himself. Which is probably why I like Venture Bros so much, because half of Venture Bros is that. Almost the entirety of Venture Bros is just the two creators of it talking to each other, which is why there's almost a double for every character. If you notice in Venture Bros, like Pete White has Billy Quizboy, who's a Shotokan, who's a Shota, not a Shotokan, who's a Shota. We'll talk about that later. Doc has, the Monarch, Hank and Dean, Watch and Ward, Henchman 21 and 24, all these characters have a double or a second. And if you look into it, pretty much whenever they're talking to somebody else, it's always the other creator. So 21 is let's say creator one. I forget their name. I forget which one. Doc Hammer. I can only remember Doc Hammer's name. But you have 21 and the Monarch are different people. The Monarch and Doc Venture are different voices, and that's just how the show runs. And it's just because it's an old Adult Swim show, so to save money on voice cast, they got Patrick Warburton. They couldn't afford anyone else, so the entire rest of the cast is just the two creators. It's just them talking to each other the whole damn time, and it's really funny because they have really good chemistry, so whenever they're talking to each other, it's always really funny. Because they bounce off of each other really well. So the fact that the entire cast is just two guys, you can completely accept it because they always bring a different dynamic, but it is always still this quick-witted just hilarity. Main difference is that Hathaway kills Quest in the novel instead of ooh. Oh, that is a pretty big difference, which would give him a lot more personal trauma with it. Huh. That would change a lot. And even that would deepen the trauma that we see in Hathaway's Flash with Quest. Which has filled him with guilt for killing the girl he loved and made him a war hero, enabling him to form Mafti. It does definitely facilitate that part of the story a lot better. I will agree on that. Ooh. I think that was the best part of that Hathaway killing Quest. Is it the best part because of how it informs the character? Or is it the best part just because, Quest dies in another way? Oh no! Hold up, let me... What time are we at? Ooh, having a lot of fun chatting, so I have to keep my eye on the time. There we go. And we get this, and we paint this up. What? Oh, I forgot to put a link to it, but this is the final day of voting, or rather the final... I think it ends at 12, so it'd be the final 14 hours of voting for the viewer's choice. So if you haven't voted yet, make sure you have voted, and also I need to end the poll for the viewer's choice. So let me check that real quick. Oh. I clicked on the wrong window. It's going to take me a second now. It seems pretty split, but sadly it seems that most of you unironically don't vote more than once in the poll, but bitch, this is Chicago, just gets me. Ooh, this is the Midwest, you should be used to voter fraud, bro. The polls are always cooked. Chicago, vote early, vote often. Let's see here. But do be sure you only vote once in the overall polls. You guys have been good about that from what I've seen. I just haven't said that in a while, I realized, so I just thought it'd be a good reminder. Ooh. Best part, because Hathaway, the one killing quest, even though he felt guilty, he can also think that somewhere inside he is glad she's gone. Okay, so it is for character reasons. Okay. Okay, there are 0 other differences, like Amuro marrying, Beltorchica and, the lady from Zeta, and, oh, the lady from Zeta, and they have a child, hence, Beltorchica children, and the fact that she has a child motivated him to fight Char. Okay. I just realized, where am I gonna put the flight lights on this guy? I always like with my kits to put lights on them for navigation lights like planes have, so let me go. And I just realized I haven't decided where this guy's navigation lights are gonna go. So as you can see, he has a red on the left side and a green on the blue side. It's not going to go here on the skirt because these are too close together. They have to be pretty much on the arms or the shoulder pads. I just realized I haven't picked which one yet. Huh? And there's one thing I want to do on stream, and that is... What is this? This is brush 2. I need to get a very tiny brush for this. What I need to do, chat, is I need to get out the steel. And I want to paint this little mouth grill gray. Oh. 1 second. I seem to have closed the wrong thing. Hello, Neon. Sorry for missing you, Neon. Ooh. The wrong YouTube chat came up and said, I'm Jelly, you're building a kit I want. It's pretty neat so far. It has a lot of areas to customize, it looks like. Chicago got a Gundam base before anyone else. It's because of all of the fraud. They voted for where should the first Gundam base go, and then just Chicago just started printing those ballots. No, they don't print ballots. They just, do necromancy to raise the dead. Vote early, vote often. Canada just recently getting a pop-up Gundam base, but still Bandai store. Luckily, I mean, I don't know or where you are exactly, but luckily, well, no, Chicago is pretty far away. It's not like Detroit. Detroit would be a great place to put it, because Detroit would be accessible to both. I mean, you'd have to go across the bridge, but would be accessible to at least part of Canada. It'd be a lot more accessible than frickin' Chicago. Chicago's literally 2 Great Lakes away. I mean, fucking nobody in Canada is gonna go like, oh, let me drive through Michigan, dip my toe in Indiana, because nobody fucking wants to even look at Indiana, and then go on to Chicago so I can get shot. Just kidding. You were already shot and killed in Detroit, but let's keep some level of, like, you know, fantasy in this story. Rather than using your finger to swipe off the excess paint, use a toothpick. That's actually a good idea. Ooh. It kind of depends on which paint I'm doing. I'm kind of trying to see which one it is. For metallics, you can just use your finger, but for Gundam paint, a toothpick would work a lot better. But I don't have toothpicks, so I'm going to put that on my list of things to get. Toothpicks. Thank you, Neon, for that. It's just, hating on quests. Oh. Oh, so it wasn't for any deeper meaning. Eastern Canada, that's where I am, and, yes, I am, in the middle of the polar vortex. The polar vortex that everyone immediately, when they saw it, they were like, those look like boobies, because, you know, humankind. Because that's why it's called mankind, baby. But actually, no, wait. That is one thing I wanted to show on stream. What's all this? I knew I should not have put VTuber in my fucking profile name on my secondary account. Because now I'm getting followed by a shitload of bots that I gotta have to go and block. God damn, I knew it! I knew having VTuber in my name was a fucking mistake on my secondary account. Now I'm getting followed by people. This is bullshit. Where are my bookmarks? I want to look at my bookmarks. I want to look at the giant pair of polar vortex titties. But I hope you're staying warm. Yeah, at minus 40, listen, at minus 40, it's cold. You don't need to be like minus 40, like, you know, Fahrenheit or Celsius. I know that's the point where they meet up for some reason. But yeah, that's the point where it's just too cold. There it is. Huge winter storm called Fern, huge purple milkers. Ooh. I mean, look at that. They called it Fern. And look at those. Look at those. Look at those double Ds. Look at those anime class double Ds. What do they mean by this? Can you really call it a polar vortex when there's two? Ooh. Yeah, but really you could just say Canada. And as long as you're not in, like, you know, the far west of Canada, you're just boned. I understand. Nutsack. It looks like a nutsack to you. Well, that says more about you than anything else. I'm sorry to say, Kays. That says more about you. You may have revealed too much about yourself there. Let your hand slide a bit too much, my friend. Ooh. Okay, so this is going to be really... I should not be doing this part on stream because it's going to be a little difficult. But I want to do it on stream because I am silly. And it looks like even though I'm using the smallest brush I can, that's still too much paint, believe it or not. Holy shit, that's loud. I should do different color here, and I might go back into gunmetal on like some of this. Right now I'm just gonna put a steel coat on top all of it. And look at that. You can't because it's so tiny. But look at that. Can you see the color separation? Actually, when I put it close to the camera, we still can't see. It's just a tiny face. Who's the one posing for GQ Zaku like that? Not me. Ooh, it's Downward Dog. You see anything else into it, that's all up to you, dude. Okay, so you're still self-reporting, brah. Well, the Nunavut, what the hell, is a great place for to live, you know? Ooh. I don't even know where that is. Ooh. Ooh. I wonder how bad it is in Chicago, actually. Chicago gets hit really bad by polar vortexes. Because what happens is the wind comes down over the Great Lake. It's pretty much like Buffalo, New York. Same thing happens there. But the wind comes across down the Great Lake, and it picks up all the moisture from the lake, and all that moisture gets turned into snow and just hits Chicago. Same thing happens with Lake Erie. It'll then all that snow that hits Chicago, that same polar vortex often will go up through Indiana and swipe back over across Ohio, across like Detroit, and Detroit's in Michigan, but like across Detroit and Toledo, and go over Lake Erie, pick up moisture again, and then slamma jamma the hell out of the hell out of Buffalo. And once in a blue moon, it'll come across the Great Lakes directly on Ohio and create a blizzard. And then people in like Northwest Ohio and Michigan won't shut the fuck up about it for the next 50 years. But that's neither here nor there. Sorry for cursing. But holy crap, it's like the blizzard of 70 who gives a shit. But you ask anyone who's like Gen X or a boomer about the blizzard in Northwest Ohio, they're like, oh, it was a travesty. It was the worst thing ever. Ooh, I got family in that area, so that's how I know. Ooh. They talk about it like it was their nom, I swear to God. For those who want to build a real great Sinanju, get yourself a drill and some brass rods. Ooh. You have a lot of pinning. I like pinning in my mobile suits, but I usually like pinning as like a last resort, you know, way to fix a suit, not a way to build the suit. Oh my god. Got automated in the other sides for saying nutsack is not on your bingo card. I mean, if it makes you feel better, Opus got, like, literally before stream, got auto-modded on YouTube for saying balls. Ooh. Let's get all of this painted up. This isn't the cleanest job ever. And it'd be cleaner if I wasn't on stream, but that's no fun. I like to do the things I haven't done before on stream, just to see how bad it goes, and then I can be like, well, this is what you shouldn't do to my chat. I'm a fucking idiot. It's alright, let me qualify that statement. I don't have toothpicks, but I do have this. And so I could just, instead of smearing the paint, thank you, Neon. Ooh. I also need Q-tips. I run out of Q-tips so rarely. Because I don't really use them for anything but model building, but I also need those. By the way, never get your super glue on your Q-tips because it will start smoking. That's something I did not know before a few years ago. I did not know that there is a thermal reaction when super glue meets cotton. Oh my god. Yeah, I thought it was gonna catch on fire. That toothpick trick is very useful, and I should go back and actually fix some of these a little bit better. Damn it. Before getting the real... Ooh. Oh my god, I was looking... Okay, you guys said a lot of things. 93 was bad here. We had to go out of the second story and didn't have a school for 2 weeks. You see, the the blizzard that hit the Midwest, it was like, oh, mind you, this is the only time it's happened in like the last like 80 years. It was like, oh, some people like had like their like cars like snowed in, so they had to like walk home. You know, they were able to go back and get their cars like a little bit later. Chat, there are places in the US where people have snowmobiles because they can't rely on, you know, the road getting plowed. Like there are places in upper Michigan where it's just like, yeah, no, you just have snowmobiles if you're middle class because, you know, that's just what you need to get around with. You know, then that snow hits, you know, Northwest Ohio once and they're just like, it's generational trauma. Wait, what? Weather map shows 5 to 10 inches in Chicago right now. 8 to 14 farther south where you are. Oh, damn, I'm kind of sad that it didn't get it didn't deposit in Chicago. Unless you like snow. Though I don't know what kind of snow you get. I don't know if you get the... Midwest has 2 types of snows, is what I've learned. I grew up near one of the Great Lakes, so where I grew up, we had nice, fluffy snow. It was beautiful. But oh my god, the moment you get away from the Great Lakes, it dries up immediately and you get powder. And when you say powder, I'm not meaning that sweet, sweet nar, brah. I'm not talking about that like, haha, let's do some kick flips like SSX, brah. No. When I say powder, I mean it comes down and there's actually different types of snow, but not all snow are snowflakes. Sometimes they're literally, like, you know the heart of a snowflake? You know that shape? Sometimes instead of forming branches, the heart of a snowflake will just grow up. And when I say grow up, I mean it'll just become like a tube. And then that will fall to the ground. And that is the worst snow imaginable. Not because it's like, you know, worse for like driving on or anything, but because you can't do anything with it. It's just a nuisance. It's just like, here's snow that is literally more coarse than sand and gets blown about more than sand. And you can't, like, if you try to make a snowball with it, it just goes through your fingers. That's the other type of snow that happens in the Midwest. It's either you have moist snow where it's like, you know, nice snowflakes, and the snowflakes are massive around the Great Lakes. Like, holy crap, you can see them in like perfect detail with your naked eye. Or you just get the tubes. The tubes are the worst snow. It's literally just falling ice tubes. You know, which sounds horrific, but again, they're like microscopic, so it doesn't matter. But like little falling ice tubes, they form like a thick layer of ice when they fall down, and then a bunch of snow falls on top of it, and then that snow is just pure powder that you can't do anything with. You try to roll a snowball, it's impossible. You try to make a mound of snow out of it, it literally will just collapse like dry sand. It's awful. It's the worst shit ever, and I hate it. Never. It's the fucking worst shit ever, and that's the type of snow I have now where I live, and I cannot stand it. Okay, real great. Sinanju, definitely get the third-party Sinanju joint. It sounds like that's right. That's what Ricey seemingly had. So, but he still says it sounds like you need to do the pinning, which is insane. You need to do the pinning preemptively because some parts just don't want to stay in, and the surface is too small to glue. Oh my god. At least it's not too small to pin, though. Jesus, that would just be the worst of all existences. Oh, we all, as well as to make sure that you don't break any joints, since, yeah, you need that reinforcement. You would need to tighten them up and then introduce a lot of stress, and yes. Ooh, it needs a lot of reinforcement, I can bet. Yeah, cottons and certain fabrics. Had a golf ball sized burn in your carpet once from that. Oof. Degrees, not inches. Okay. Probably got 2 foot here. Okay. Powder. Here. Well, I hope everyone in the U.S. is staying warm, and in Canada, and Canada land, in funny leaf land. Ooh. Because snowstorms can be pretty brutal, and you can just be stuck inside for days on end if you're not careful. So make sure you're keeping safe, everyone. I know it's monsoon season for my Southeast Asian brothers, so you guys also stay safe. Don't get your home, like, washed away. If there's any flood warnings, acknowledge them and just stay safe. The Gunpla paint smears a lot more than the Vallejo, is what I am learning. I can't do the finger clean method as well. I'm still gonna have to do sanding. Okay. There we go. There we go. Where are we at? Oh, we are far past 2.5. Okay. I mean, there's still plenty to prep, but it's not as much as you'd think, but it's more than you'd expect. I'm not quite sure if the red... I think it's going to be really red heavy, because what I chose to do. I should have done copper where the red is, and then done red where the copper is for the accents. I really should have. But I'm committed to doing it this way unless, you know, I come back and I'm like, well, I got a toothbrush and stripped all the paint, which I might do. There's a non-zero chance. I'm actually go for a bit of a mixed model, actually, because I really like how the Verniers look. Like, I love how the Verniers look, but I'm not a fan of, like, the bigger accents like this. So I might get some dish soap and clean these out, which has been pretty reliable and hasn't damaged the plastic yet. Like, another thing is I might also clean this off, you know, because, again, I really like the Verniers. They look really good, but the rest of it I might touch up, might give more depth to. I'm just not quite sure. But you'll find out on Monday when we come back to this. Ooh, that reminds me, I have a working schedule. I'm going to show you the working schedule I have. So, I don't have the... I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I forgot to put up, like, what we're building, so there's nothing there. I completely forgot to put that up before stream. What is the disclaimer? I'm bad. Thank you, disclaimer. Very cool of you. Well, let me show you the work-in-progress schedule for next month. Because I got bored today, so I just started making that. Where are my schedules? Thumbnails, calendar. 1 second. Apparently, I have not saved it as a PNG, so let me do that real quick. Not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one. There it is. I want to save, I want to show you because of two things. PNG. But I want to show you this before we end stream, just so you know what we're doing tomorrow, firstly. So let's go to here. Oh. What? How big is this going to be? Very big! It's Valentine's next month. So, you know, we have to be gorgeous. But this is an incomplete schedule, but these are the building dates. I just don't have viewers' voice and, like, what we're doing on Fridays on it yet. But everything else is pretty much complete. So, I don't know what we're doing on the 16th or the 18th. No idea. But for Lunar New Year, we're going to be building the Moon Gundam, which I think is probably going to take 3 parts because it's a high grade. It's a big high grade. But I'm going to pretty much have all the week to do the prep work. So that's probably just good. We're going to have a prep stream, then 2 building streams. Is this what I'm predicting? So we're going to do Lunar New Year Moon Gundam. Let me read chat real quick. And being, yeah, you keep getting earthquakes. You're getting those aftershocks. So I want to make a make 3 clone accounts so we hit 200 subs, so we can celebrate. Oh damn, Moon Gundam. I want to get to 200 before the end of the month, but I don't know if we're going to. But I want to. It would be a very big confidence boost if I did. But don't make clones. I want it to be natural. Is about to as detailed as a real grid. Ooh. It's about that detail. I know it's very good quality. Edda built it, but I didn't watch those streams personally because I knew I was going to be building it, didn't want spoilers and whatnot. Which is stupid, but like if I need any pointers, if there's anything I'm gonna ask her, if there's anything I need to look out for. So like it's not like I'm not gonna be going in completely blind, but yeah, I hear it's a really good kit. And I have seen it. She has a lot of detail on it. I saw her finished kit. There is a lot of detail on it. Like, even in the face, especially. But we're going to be building the Gei on the first week of next week. First week of next week, you fucking idiot. Sorry for cursing. We're going to be building it next week. Okay, this is effectively a glorified high grade. It should be done by either the 4th or the 9th. And then on the 9th, we're going to be doing My Bloody Valentine. So that's going to be 2 high-grade kits from Gundam Seed. And you can't see my hand. I just threw out my hand and you can't see it. There's going to be 2 Gunpla kits from Gundam Seed. The Zaku Gunner and the Black Knight. No, listen, I don't mean to put the Black Knight on like every other poll. It just keeps happening. It's the only other Gundam Seed kit I have. And then the other 2 will be the Rosen Zulu and the Rose Gundam. And that poll will be up tomorrow. So peace. So you'll be able to vote for that tomorrow. So in the meantime, let me find a nice place to send you beautiful, beautiful people out to. Oh, I created another rat's nest, didn't I? Let me close my paint, because one time I forgot to close my Gunpla paint, and it dried out. And that hurt my soul a little. Look at the spinning. Look at the spinning, chat. I know my chat probably all has ADHD, so just... I need to have something on the screen while I'm signing off and while I'm, like, finding a place to link you guys out to. Just be distracted by the spin. Ooh. I'm sorry, my microphone just hit my... Oh, it doesn't matter what it hit. It hit the arm for the light. I already have my other account subbed, thus one as an emergency, just in case my main is being used. Can't wait for the eventual real great Sananju build in 2027. There's that optimism. It's also got into Merrick percentage. Yeah, I got a JP streamer trying to hit 2K for her 4-year by the end of the month, but doubt she will get the 100 she needs without a miracle. You never know. You never know. You never know. Ooh. You never know. It's always good just to have that hope, and if you don't get it, then you can always look at what you did to get the numbers you did and get better next time. And just make sure you're engaging and being fun. And just as long as you're entertaining who is already there, it's important. Ooh. Both those accounts ended up being yours, but Ricey also was on the poll. I think literally, Ricey's the only Vietnamese person here. But Ricey's then, like, he broke the top 10, so I was looking at my analytics, and I just noticed it was either 9 or 8 was just Vietnam, and I was just like, wow, Ricey, you're breaking the top 10 all by yourself. Congratulations. Let me find a place to link you beautiful, beautiful people out to. So, let's move this up. Let's go with, let us link out, see here. I'm gonna link out for Twitch first. I'm gonna link out because it's just saying there's one person, so unless that's lying to me. Where? My brain just malfunctioned. I couldn't remember how to find other channels on Twitch. Also, in my analytics, apparently I do have people from the Philippines watching, which is really cool. Because Filipinos are, like, from my experience, really cool people. Every Filipino I personally met has been a cool person. Ooh. Also, it means that my collection of Southeast Asians is growing. I don't know why I have so many Southeast Asians, but I'm collecting them. I'm like a Pokemon trainer. I gotta catch them all. Soon we're gonna get a Cambodian or two. Eventually, chat. know what? I'm gonna link out to James, who's playing Bioshock. You know, actually, wait, no. I'll check for model builders first. Let me check for model builders first. This is dragging on. Let's see here. I'm just gonna link to James, and I'm gonna actually look into more VTubers who do model building in the future. So, and let me look for a place for YouTube to link you out to. So, see here. And thanks for the sub this stream. That is very appreciated, new person. That is not no. Maybe. Modded Hightail multi. There's already mods for Hightail. The game's been out for like 2 weeks, and it's all fucking. It is the Minecraft. It is the successor to Minecraft. Holy shit. I want to link every time Sawa Grape is streaming, which is almost every stream that I do on Mondays. I want to link you guys out to Sawa so bad. I just see Sawa and I'm like, ah. I need to watch Sawa. Sawa's so much fun. I never get time to watch Sawa anymore. Okay, I'm linking you out to Sawa Grape. I don't know what she's doing. I don't care. I'm linking you to Sawa Grape. Sawa is a go. Okay, have a good night, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow to show you what the illusion of choice means. What does that mean? Don't worry, but we're not doing Gunpla tomorrow because we did Gunpla today. So we're going to be doing... Well, I'll just tell you. We're going to be doing the runner-up for the viewer's voice... the viewer's voice poll, because it looks like it might be a tie. If it's a tie, we're just going to play both games, is what we're going to do. If it's not a tie, we're going to play the runner-up tomorrow. So, tune in for that, I guess, because I think almost all of the votes have been for just 2 of the things, so I'm just like, fuck it. If 90% of the votes are just for one of 2 options, it doesn't matter. We're just gonna play them both. We have an extra day. And then we'll do some KOTOR, provided that the stream does not crash. We've been having fine internet connection so far this week. Please, I want to play KOTOR. Literally, I lost like 2 hours of gameplay last time. Please, I have my hand clasped in prayer. I don't know who I'm praying to though, because God's not gonna fucking help me out on this one. He's like, fucking, I'm not your IT support, motherfucker. I got more important things to do. Shut the fuck up. Fair enough. Okay, have a good night, everyone. Usually go there? Okay, have a good night. Usually going to shower grape